Who do I think you are, Jay?
Hello everyone, we are live. My Wi-Fi is working. Sorry for the delay. This is Scoutcast Match Day and it's game week 36. And we're very excited because it's the opening game. We've got Ted, we've got not Toby. Okay, we've got Ted with us, but Toby's Twitter handle is on screen. Ignore that, we're going to sort that out. We've also got Seb. Seb, I'm going to come to you first. How are you doing?
I'm okay, thank you, mate. You caught me by surprise again there. Was it last week you went live halfway through a sentence, and this week you were just like, "Oh, hey"?
Oh, I know. I need to stop doing that. I need to be a little bit more I mean, you don't get this on Scoutcast, do you?
That's what.
This is definitely the tier 2 show.
And I wear my notes. I get notes and everything on Scoutcast. No, this is what people are here for. Hopefully, right? Our nonsense,
God, I don't think I've ever written notes in my life for anything.
including for the book. Just
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 scribble.
stayed up late one night.
Well, I Toby for that. Yeah, he's the brains. Ted, how you doing, mate? Ted/Toby. Good to see you again, dude. It's been a while. Toby had a shave, says Louis Ashton.
Yeah, I look about 16 again. No, I'm really good. I have made some atrocious transfers this week, so let's try and avoid any sort of transfer conversation.
Oh, I think I know who you may have brought in because the chat are already saying I'm really sorry about the Aguero shout. So go on, tell us who you went for, Ted.
Oh, God. Do I have to? I took a -8 this week. I bought in Aguero and Foden and captained Aguero.
Oh, Foden's not your vice, is he?
No, thank God. Vice captain Salah, thank heavens. But still, this -8 has.
Is Aguero on the bench, Seb?
No.
That's good. At least you're not going to get 1 point captain.
Yes, I'm happy they've got Salah. He's going to be very, very heavily captained this week. But yeah, I mean, Foden's got a chance to come on at least. He's on the bench, so we'll see. But sorry, mate.
Who was your third transfer?
Bamford for Iheanacho. So
reasonable.
I mean, in honour of you, Seb, for the Leeds match.
You were Q Rodrigo start, eh?
God. Please don't do that to me. That would that would sum up my season so badly. It would.
Guys, we are 4 minutes in, 4 minutes 35 seconds. So I'm just going to come to you guys quickly on team news. So those that aren't watching, that are watching us instead, can be fully updated because there has been some big team news. So first, I'll come to Seb for the City team news. Of course, we know Aguero isn't playing, but there's a few big names out, Seb.
Yeah, the answer is none of the players you picked, I'm afraid. We have Scott Carson of Leeds United fame in goal, João Cancelo at left back, Ake and Garcia at centre back, and Carl Walker at right back. Bernardo Silva, Rodri, and Gundogan. So maybe some fancy interest there in the midfield. And Ferran Torres, Gabriel Jesus, and Raheem Sterling with a captain's armband up front. It'd be funny if this was the week that Sterling went and banged after, what was it? Many weeks ago, we all went for him, all captained him. This was the one. Be funny, that.
Yeah. And when you say FPL interest, there's a little bit, isn't there? I'd say Gundogan's probably the most owned Man City, certainly attacker. There'll be high Cancelo ownership too. But we're here rooting for Gundogan tonight. I've got my Germany top up in the background. Seb and I are both owning, or do own Gundogan, which is quite exciting. Without KDB, could be quite advanced. He's actually looks like, as City attack. He is alongside Jesus. Of course, he's not playing as a striker, but he will be getting forward. So yeah, come on Gundogan. Watch us celebrate as Gundogan hopefully bags a brace. Seb, what was your moves this week? Who did you go for and who did you captain?
I did Kevin De Bruyne to Mo Salah. Pretty an easy one, right? De Bruyne got injured, so fine. Didn't take a hit or anything, which is nice considering a lot of other people did. And I have captained Mo Salah.
Nice, okay. Very popular.
Ake's just skied one from a very long way out.
He loves a shot, Ake, doesn't he? Ted, Newcastle team news. Obviously, no Callum Wilson. And when we see no Callum Wilson, we often think, no goals. But who's in the Newcastle lineup that we can get excited about tonight?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure there's many owned assets in Newcastle. But yeah, Joe Linton comes in for Callum Wilson with a hamstring injury. But yeah, we've got Dubravka at the back and usual in goal. And then it looks like they're playing 5 at the back with Murphy at right wing back and Richie at left wing back with Kraft, Fernandez and Dummett in the middle. And we've got Joe Willock, who seems to be popping up everywhere with those late goals. Shelvey, Almiron, Saint-Maximin as the lively number 10, I guess. But he's one of those players that I'd love to own. He just always seems to get injured. And I don't know. It just comes off early for some reason.
Game week 1 vibes.
Game week 1 vibes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, is that a Jesus? Oh, nearly.
Close, very close. Took that down nicely, controlled it, and went for the half volley. When you went, ooh, there, Ted, I saw it just coming up here, and I was like, obviously he's going to slot that into that space that it looks like. But Dubravka was fully done. I don't think it was that far wide.
With the camera angle, one of those, you always think it's going in the top corner for some reason.
Yeah.
And it's miles away. It's miles away, but yeah.
Especially at St James's Park. You've seen a few top corners at half volleys at St James's Park over the years. Do you remember the Czech Tiote one in the 4-4 against, was it Arsenal? That was amazing. And that was at the same, that was at the Gallagher end.
Pape Cisse must have done a couple. I have in my mind, obviously, he scored some great goals. I can't remember where.
He had an amazing, that half volley on the outside the boot. That was at Stamford Bridge.
Was that, thought so.
Yeah,
cool.
That was amazing. That was the season where he went bananas and everyone loved him. And then he was linked with some big money moves, and Newcastle were like, no, we're holding him, he's brilliant. And then he was never good again. It was like, you could have cashed in for 40 million, 30 million, whatever. It
was the Demba Ba and Pape Cisse up front for a bit, and then Chelsea went for Demba Ba, possibly because of price.
Yeah.
And I guess it didn't really work out for anyone.
Yeah.
Oh, don't mention Demba Ba to me, please. Crikey Moses. As a Liverpool fan, I was living in a house full of Chelsea fans with that Gerrard slip. So he's not my fondest player.
Guys in the chat, good to see so many of you today. Swede has joined us, FPL Swede. Manan's asked about our predictions. We'll give you them. Load saying that Toby's had a shave. Love that. I am going to be replacing the graphic when Andy sends a new one through. We didn't have this three-way setup. We've not done a three-way before. Adam says no sound. Adam, I wonder if that's you. I don't think we've got an issue with our sound. If we have, let us know in the chat. And Adam, maybe you check your settings too. Guys, predictions for today's game. I mean, I'm gonna start us off with, I think Man City will win. I think good to know, G-Wiz, our audio is good. I think this is a really big game for Jesus. When I look at the City 11, I think we know now Pep has finally showed his hand. We kind of know City's best 11. If you go after PSG semi-final games, it's probably without a recognised striker. But I just wonder, with the 2 defeats to Chelsea recently, and I know that was not his preferred 11 playing against Chelsea each time, if there's 1 or 2 players that can force their way into the 11, and I wonder if Gabriel Jesus sees himself as, if Pep does go for a recognised striker, it's perhaps Jesus over Aguero. Personally, I don't think either will start. I think it's the 11 we know from the semi-finals, but I wonder if it's a massive trial for Jesus these next 3 games, and he's going to get a chance tonight, and we've seen him come close with the half volley. But yeah, I'm going to go 2-0 City. I don't think it will be massive, but I think we'll get goals. I can't see Newcastle scoring. Ted, what do you reckon?
Well, with this atrocious City team, I can't see how they're possibly going to win this game. So do I dare go for a shock result? You're probably right. It's probably going to be some sort of 2-0 rubbishness. So I'm going to go for like a 1-1 or something to keep it interesting. Sam Maximan with a wonder shot from 30 yards out.
We'll take that. Wipe out some of those City clean sheets for those Cancelo owners. And the one person that triple captain Scott Carson, because someone actually did, which is just crazy. So what do you reckon?
I mean, 2-0 sounds attractive. It's kind of, it's still a good enough City side, isn't it? They should be able to put Newcastle easily. Lacking a bit of their flair, maybe. Foden and Mahrez can come off the bench. They are on the bench.
Yeah.
So far, we've had, 11 minutes here, and it has been City just doing City outside the Newcastle box. I think we've had a couple of shots. So a 2-0, something to nil sounds pretty reasonable to me.
Yeah. I think
Newcastle have it in them, don't they? They have it in them to get a result like they did last week, that 4-2. I mean, it's probably not going to happen against City, but...
Gundogan on the edge of the box, drags it wide. Sterling was coming in at the back post. Come on, Gundo. I can't see Newcastle getting out their half. I mean, we've seen them struggle to get out of the half so far, and I just wonder how much time they're going to have in the City penalty box, which you need to be in if you're going to score.
I mean, the hope is, like Ted, I guess, was alluding to there, is they don't need to try to get out their half apart from once or twice, but when they do, they need to do that with an overload and try and get a good chance away, right? Then they're not going to try and control the game. Yeah. They're very happy for City to have this.
Yeah.
Who's the guy that's come in their technical engine room behind Steve Bruce that's really spruced things, God, no pun intended, spruced things up for them. God,
Did he
I
come
hate
from?
myself.
Did he come from like? I feel like he came from Bournemouth or something. But yeah, he's pretty well regarded. Was he Eddie Howe's coach at Bournemouth? I can't remember. But whoever it was, I remember when he came in, we did see Newcastle scoring a few more goals. When he came in
Yeah,
in
absolutely.
January, didn't he?
Yeah, they've looked really good. They've looked tactically more astute, and you never know, they might have a game plan against City. They could have that counter attack set up quite well. So we'll see.
Ooh,
We will see.
Go on, Seb. We saw that exactly the same moment.
Cancelo down the left into really nice move actually with interplay with Gundogan, I think it was, lays him through. That's a lovely ball. Takes out 3 players. He cuts it back to Ferran Torres, who just gets ahead of the defender, toe pokes it narrow of the near post. Good half chance, if you like.
Oh, yeah, it's actually nowhere near, but from our angle, it looked like it was close. Graham Jones, you boys in the chat, Ryan and Gio boys, thank you. I knew you'd be on it. What club did he come from? Let us know. I think it might have been Bournemouth.
Who do you like? Cancelo, what do you like him best? Left wing or right wing?
I like him centre mid, which is where he seems to pop up more when he's on the right. But, yeah, I like him on the... Just because I think... Yeah. I think
depends who's ahead of him for me. I like him doing the sort of fullback playmaker role, which he can do from either side.
Philip Lahm.
It depends who's ahead. Yeah, I guess a bit if you like. David Alaba, friends. But yeah, possibly from the left because he comes inside. But if Gundogan is in those left channels today, Gundogan looks further forward,
and he's on the right.
They kind of could get in each other's way
because of KDB. He seems to be drifting central or right at times. Although Bernardo Silva's there
quite
too.
Possibly.
But yeah, I always think if you've got a midfield three of Rodri, Gundogan, and KDB's on the right, because KDB goes so central, so high. When Cancelo's at right back, there's more space for him to move into the middle than when he's at left back if Gundogan's playing in the left channel, because Gundogan sits a bit. But...
Yeah, fair. Just another one there from, speaking of Cancelo's, creating on that left-hand side. Dinks one into the area and it's probably just over Sterling. It was set up really nicely. If it had been, what do you reckon, half a foot sort of shorter, Sterling gets on that, but he couldn't quite get near it.
Yeah. It's nice having that Cancelo on the left for the turning inside to the back stick. We've seen in the Champions League a couple of deep crosses. I remember one for, I think, a Foden or a Bernardo Silva goal in maybe the quarters, where it was a great ball over from Cancelo, just turning in on the edge of the box, whipping it to the back stick.
100%. I mean, that's why I mentioned it, to be honest. He loves a dribble on that left side. He tries to take people on. I think he has a huge amount of take-ons on that left side. Beats one player and then he'll try and cross it. And it's always pretty decent. And on the right wing, I think he's a little bit lackluster. Not much end product. So I think he could get a haul this game week against Newcastle. So I wouldn't be surprised. I'm feeling a little bit envious of people owning Cancelo right now.
Really
interesting. Yeah, I'm with you on that. I transferred him out for Pereira a couple of weeks ago, and which I hadn't really.
Yeah, it's interesting that he for the Champions League semis, I think Walker played right back in both, and I think Zinchenko started both at left back. So Cancelo now is not necessarily in that strongest 11 for the Champions League. So probably won't start the final. I think it will be Walker and Zinchenko, but he is a guy. If we look at the FPL team of the season, for example, Cancelo's in, isn't he? Like, I was asked to do my FPL team of the season this morning, and Cancelo was one of the first names I put in. He's been brilliant for us this year, and he's slightly behind Diaz for overall points, but if you look at points per minute, he's up. And I feel like he has been fairly unlucky. I remember there was a time when we all had him, and he kept getting us 6 points, but he wasn't getting the assists or the goals, and he was so involved all the time. He was one of those lively assets. But he's been an absolute joy to own this year, isn't he, Cancelo? Ted, I'm guessing you were on him early, were you?
Yeah, I kind of was, but I kind of agree. I kind of agree with you, and I kind of don't, because City assets just in general, if it's not Gundogan, they're clouded with the rotation fog. I'm always a bit like, was Cancelo that good this season? I guess he was, but if I was going to do the team of the season, the only City player I'd probably pick was Gundogan because of the impact that he's had.
That's your FPL team of the season.
FPL or real team of the season?
I'd probably still say FPL.
Okay.
Gundo was in mine as well. My two City players were Cancelo and Gundogan. For FPL.
The trouble with the FPL team of the season is that you're going to be picking basically everyone who's like 6 million and
points.
Under. Yeah, there's so much value this season. And
I guess it depends whether you're talking personally too, because like if you missed, say, Lingard or Gundogan or something, you probably don't maybe feel the same way about them as other people.
True.
Yeah, I had Dallas and Justin in my team, in my FPL team this season, but I only owned Justin for 2 weeks and I haven't had Dallas all year. So, but I was still like, no, those two have just been phenomenal, haven't they? Just looking at the City bench, Foden's on there, we know. Mahrez is on there. If you look at the attacking players off the bench, they're the two that you would think would be more likely to come on. But I don't think Pep's going to use subs unnecessarily. And if we look, Foden is more likely to come on than Mahrez if we go off what's happened previously with subs he puts on. So for all of those in the chat, and I know there'll be a fair few of you that have bought in Mahrez and captained him, there is a hope he stays on the bench and you get Salah or whoever is your vice. So fingers crossed for you there. I guess it depends if it's still 0-0 and he goes, oh, I'll put Mahrez and Foden on because it's 0-0 and it's 70 minutes gone. Ted.
You get worried when Sky Sports start highlighting Cole Palmer and you're going, no, please. Is it going to be one of those days where they just use the under 18s in their substitutes?
Is he a striker? Do we know? I feel like he might be a striker, Palmer, but I'll check that out.
You've got to be a serious football fan to know who Cole Palmer
is. I have a left-footed right winger, but that is one of those, until he plays some first-team matches and then takes up a different position, right? A long time ago, someone might have told you that, I don't know, Trent was a midfielder or what have you, Depends, doesn't it?
I'm going to see if he's on the FPL game, so I'm looking now to see if he's actually listed.
That's a stretch, I'd say.
No, he is. Wow, 4.4 million. He listed as a midfielder.
When was he?
4 million.
When was he added?
I don't know how I find that out.
Look at his game week history. It'll tell you which game week he first had nothing in.
0-0-0 from game week 1. No, from game week 3.
Oh, so he's
game week
3. There you go. So yeah, he's around since game week 3 apparently.
And because we know about Liam Delap, Rory Delap's son, because he actually featured in game week 3. So again, yeah, he's been listed since game week 2, and he's a forward. I don't know if Delap's on the bench today, but again, he's one that has had some minutes. Gundogan, good. He had his back to goal tackled.
Worth noting that all City assets will only start in game week 2 because they didn't play game week 1.
Yeah, played really well in game week 2. They beat Wolves, and people like me went, they're the same team as last year. I'm going to triple up on them and sell the likes of Salah. Didn't happen. Not that I'm bitter about that one. We haven't seen any big chances yet, have we? 20 minutes in, patterns of play. It's just neat, tidy passing, Seb.
No.
Yeah, little one from Ferran Torres. That one was just over Sterling, half volley from Jesus. So nothing massive, but enough for City to think we just keep doing this and we score those 1 or 2 goals. João Cancelo takes a shot near post, easily saved. But again, just one of those where if you keep doing that for 90 minutes, you fully expect to score one.
And they'll tire, won't they, Newcastle? When you haven't got the ball City are going to, be on 70% plus possession. Eventually that becomes very tiring. You exert more energy in defence than you do in attack. So, yeah, you see the gaps appearing come 60, 70 minutes in, potentially.
Based on what we've seen so far, I'd be very surprised if Cancelo didn't leave this with some attacking returns. I mean, he's not created anything huge or anything so far, but more just his involvement and the fact that that's where the attacks seem to be coming from. I'd be surprised if he isn't involved in some way.
Yeah. They had a little chance there, didn't they, Ted? They had a little bit of space.
Newcastle getting something from this. Just to be cheeky. I think they just need that final end product. Saint-Maximin is always lively, isn't he? Fed a ball out to the right and there's a cross in and it just escaped the Man City defenders, but no Newcastle attacker picked it up, so they cleared it. But yeah, they carry on something like that. There's going to be a lot of space in behind. I fancy Saint-Maximin getting something here. Maybe more out of hope than expectation, but we'll see.
If Willock gets a sniff, he's pretty good in front of goal. He's scored a few goals recently, even when he's come on off the bench. And Willock, Arsenal could have probably done with him this year. He probably would have got a run in the team. I think in the pecking order, he was alongside, if not ahead of Smith Rowe before he went on loan, which was interesting.
All penalty shout. Gundogan flicks the ball into a Newcastle defender's arm, but the referee is unwavering. So we'll see what VAR say.
Yeah, Gundogan wanted it, didn't he? But no one else seemed to appeal.
No one else.
So on first impression, that would look very soft, but we've not seen anything close enough for a replay yet.
Ball goes out for a corner, so there's time to check. But yeah, no one seems too fussed. I think it may have been Fernandes.
By the way, I'm massively on board the Ted Newcastle train.
Ooh.
Like the slightest of crossing the halfway down. He's like, it's goal. It's going to be a goal. Just make up for the fact that I don't have City players. Go on, 3-0 Newcastle.
Not that I'm bitter or anything. Oh, Christ.
We've just seen the replay. It does strike Fernandez's arm, but it's one of those. It's a penalty in game week 1 to 15 and not from beyond.
Oh, there's one of
He
those.
sort of-
was it,
sort of
Eric
moves it.
Bailly?
Yeah,
Sorry.
we did see that with Bailly, didn't we?
Oh yeah, it's the Eric Bailly one was kind of a similar one where it hits his arm, but it hits him first, I think. And that one there possibly similar where at that distance, I don't know if there's much you can do. Although Ted was saying he potentially moved it, so
Yeah, moved his arm towards the ball almost, but I think it's a bit harsh, as you say. So.
Training game for City so far, says Nick. Scott Carson is only playing to get a winner's medal. I think you have to play 5 or 10 games to get a winner's medal.
No, I think you get an allocation now. I think you get to choose.
Oh, because
I think
remember,
you get like 30 medals or 40 medals, whatever it is.
Do you remember, was it Arsenal the year, was it Keown or Adams? It was there like last season and they kept coming on. There was like 6 games left of the season and for 5 of them, Keown or Adams, I can't remember who it was, kept coming on as a sub with 85 minutes gone and it was so he ticked the box for the winner's medal. But maybe they've changed it, as you say. It's not based purely on appearances. Shivam is asking, thoughts on Mane captain? Nice, Shivam. I wonder if you were inspired by Late Riser's free hit where you saw he went Mane. He didn't go Mane, and I think he did go Mane captain as well. He also went Scott Carson because he saw the team news leak, so he changed it up and he went Scott Carson at like 6.28.
Love that.
But
Love that.
Mane captain, I mean, it's a huge differential. I mean, what's Mane's ownership? 1%?
I love that shout.
Do you? I just don't know if he's going to start. I think Klopp could go. I know he's had his rest. I can't see...
Sam Maximin crosses it to Willock, and it's all blocked. 8 yards out.
There's a chance.
No, it's Joelinton, sorry.
That's
Joelinton,
a big chance for what Newcastle are going to get today. Like that, they won't get many better than that.
This is what I'm saying. It was practically a goal with Sam Maximin causing havoc in the... He does well, actually.
He does do really well. Though,
Ted, there's been a bit of drama, so I'm going to come to you because I think you might be a second ahead of me and Seb. Just going off your reaction to that shot, I feel like you're a second ahead of me. So tell us what you see.
What with the Joelinton and the Sam Maximin?
No, with tell us as you're watching it now. Something's about to happen. Eyes on screen.
Is it?
Oh, are we suddenly going to think Scott Carson isn't a good idea after all?
No comment.
What could possibly tell you that?
Is there?
Shelvey crosses it in. Oh, yes, it's a goal to Newcastle. It looks like it's Kraft.
Oh, I love that. It is Kraft. Oh,
Absolutely.
out of nowhere.
I mean,
like
it's
salmon.
It's a header from about 6 yards out, and it didn't look that difficult. The ball just comes straight to him from Shelvey, and he just heads it easily into the net.
Scott Carson looks shell-shocked.
It's like he hasn't been out for like a year.
So like we were saying, Johnny, 1-0 Newcastle is the result we're going to see here.
Yeah, fair. This might mean we get Mahrez and Foden on sooner rather than later now.
Very true.
Oh,
I mean, there's not much to say about that. It's pretty standard. It's ball into the box. The best person in the air wins it and puts a good header away. Can't really blame Scott Carson. Sure, there's a brilliant save in there if he fancies it, but it's a good enough header. He stretches. Yeah, it's past him.
Could Ake be a bit tighter? He doesn't perhaps put his body. You know,
they could definitely do better. They've been outdone by someone who's bigger and better in the air than them. It's pretty standard, to be fair.
Yeah, great delivery from Shelvey. Header. Great delivery.
I think it was a bit understated because it looked really easy, but that's probably just because Shelvey delivered an incredible ball and Kraft, delivered on the header. It just looked easy. It's one of those things where you watch professionals do something, you're going, oh, that didn't look too good, but it was decent.
Why don't you do that every time?
Yeah.
We should have called this, like, not as in Newcastle are going to win, but if Newcastle are going to score, we did think, it's probably on the break and St Max, but also we probably neglected the set piece. We do know City can be vulnerable on the set piece, and we know Shelvey's got really good delivery. So, yeah, and, the 3 centre-backs all come up. There's aerial presence there.
To be fair, Garcia, Ake, Scott Carson, I'm not going to claim I didn't even really think about it. But
Ake and
none
Garcia
of those
both,
strike me
both
as
short centre-backs.
Yeah, and Scott Carson possibly not going to come and claim stuff. I frankly don't remember what he's like as a goalkeeper, but he doesn't strike me right now as
he's one of your own, isn't he, Scott Carson?
Yeah, indeed, from about 20 years ago.
Seb's a Leeds fan, for those that aren't familiar.
I think enough people know. It's the only thing I ever got. It's all I'm good for. It's all I'm good for. Is Pascal Struck going to start?
Yeah, I like that. So, Kev Mack in the chat. What did you say, Kev? I saw your comment flash up a minute ago and I was like, that's worth repeating. There we go. First goal Carson has conceded in the Premier League for 9 years. Brilliant. I don't even need to
That's not
fact
how
check.
you're meant to use those stats. That's irresponsible.
Kev, tweet that because you'll get quite a few likes and read. That's sort of a Duncan Alexander tweet. If he hasn't done it already, maybe you got it from him. I don't know.
Yeah, we need like the single like adjective answer, just like full stop, safe or something like that.
Yeah. Oh, FPL Swede, I forgot you were with us. We should be celebrating because, of course, Kraft is a Swede himself, representing there. And FPL Swede, I know you're looking ahead to exciting FPL or fantasy Euro game this summer. So if you want to know what's going on with the Euro game this summer, I know Swede's done some threads and been quite vocal on Twitter. So give FPL Swede a search on Twitter. You might also want to follow us. If you want to follow Ted, his Twitter handle is, I'm going to put it in the chat so you can copy and paste that. Ted, what is your Twitter handle? Is it Ted Talks?
Yeah, I've forgotten myself, to be honest.
Is it Ted Talks FPL?
Yes, it is, yeah. What does it say? Is it someone else's?
It says Toby Margetts, yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Which is why everyone thinks Toby shaved.
Why is Toby's got like 2,000 followers in the last hour? That's incredible.
Yeah. Do you know what? I could message Toby and say, can you please tweet to say, and like pin it at the top of your page, can you please tweet to say, for all those following to see Ted's great content, please follow X. But I know he hasn't got Twitter on his phone anymore. And I know he's out with the boys because I'm meant to be with them in Brighton having some beers on the beach tonight. And I decided, I'd rather be with you lot. Not just you two, but you 240 in the chat. So if you all
get a group.
Yeah, I
No.
know, right? I know where my
No.
priorities lie. And to all those 240 in the chat, can you all do us a massive favour? If you like this video, just carve the chat and press like, then we're like boosted in the algorithms and we're shown to more people and all that sort of stuff. So please if all of you do it, I'll know. I'm going to see these numbers fly up. Please just say like. It's just one click. Thank you very much. Anyway, Seb, Man City going to get back into this? They got you, haven't they?
Surely. But hey, what was I saying? 2-0? So clearly I'm wrong already. But
Ted called it 1-1.
Yeah. Oh goodness, it could be, couldn't it? I mean, again, with the set piece kind of, I would say, changes nothing other than the scoreline, which is the important part. City have the ball, are attacking in the same patterns that they have done all day. And I think they do this for another hour and they score a goal.
Yeah.
It's one of those games, though, isn't it? You just feel like the chances they had early on in the first 20 minutes, they weren't clear-cut. They were just speculative efforts. Is that going to continue for another 50 minutes? And maybe they get a late equalizer. There's no quality chances at the moment, is there? So they need to up their game.
They do. I wonder if, I don't know how Pep reacts to this. If he goes, it doesn't mean much, and I want these guys to have minutes because for whatever reason, or if he goes, I don't remember Pep ever making halftime changes, but I'd love to see it. I'd love him to go, Foden, Mahrez, get them on. But
do you know who needs minutes?
Of options.
Do you know who needs minutes this season? Sergio Aguero.
Is he got a knock though? He's not in the squad. That's strange.
I was going to say, good thing he's on the bench then, Ted.
Unbelievable. No, he's not even on the bench. Like, what news was there? I was so hopeful. We played the last two. No De Bruyne, no midweek game.
Ooh, I don't know.
I feel like Aguero has been such a trap, though. It's very, the injury his last season. It's very much been like, I want that feeling from the past of having Aguero in FPL, and it's his last season. But that aside, I guess there hasn't really been that much indication. You just want that last Aguero hit before we don't get it anymore.
I got asked last night.
An Aguero hit.
Oh, Gundogan as a go, shot on target, sneaky one round the wall. Good save from Dubravka, but comfortable. I was asked on the FPL show last night, name check, that how many times will Aguero start between now the 3 Premier League games, and I said best case scenario, a single. And I stand by that. I think he starts against Brighton if he's fit, which happens to be without the fans. It's game week 37. Game week 38, 6 days before the Champions League final, in front of the home fans, I think Pep forgets the sentiment and he goes full strength. I think he plays the same team in 38 as what he wants to play in the Champions League final. That probably doesn't include Aguero. And then Aguero maybe gets standing ovation, 20 minutes on at the end, scores his goal. I'd still like the idea of owning him in 38, but I just think that he's probably not going to start. But Aguero doesn't have to start to get points. We've seen this in the past, right? The guy doesn't need his minutes to goal ratio in the Premier League. I think it's the best ever.
I'm trying to think of
he needs to be on the bench though, no.
He does need to be on that bench.
I completely agree with you, though, Gianni. Like the fact, this is the reason why I brought him in. The fact that Pep doesn't care about the Premier League anymore because he already won it. So he's focusing on the Champions League.
Yeah,
got the Champions League final. He's probably not going to play Aguero. He's going to play the team that's been true and tried and trusted all season. And he's not going to play Aguero. So why not just give him a few minutes in the next 3 games? Yeah. That's what I thought would happen, but clearly that's not what's happened. So I feel like a bit an idiot.
Well, you and most others, mate. I mean, I looked at today's game and thought Pep will go. Everyone's just had a rest. Oh, go on.
Almiron through. No, he's ducked back inside.
No. I thought the ball was on there.
Yeah,
just as he cut inside.
Free kick to Newcastle.
That's the beauty of having. I know he didn't have to make the tackle, but Walker's recovery pace is so quick that he can get in those positions to block those passes, even when he's not making a tackle. And watch Walker; he's so bloody quick.
He's done well there, Almiron. He's dribbled from inside his own half to maybe the final third, and he does get a foul. It's a bit soft, I'd say, but he maybe could have done a bit better. He didn't need to cut inside at that last minute. Could have drove on.
City, a VAR looking at this.
Well, that's what I was going to say. We keep seeing replays. Are they looking for like a hand in the face or something?
It's like an elbow on Rodri.
Yeah. We've got no commentary here, so you often miss little things like that. But it didn't really look anything at first. I don't know if it's even if he has caught him, which he has. He's receiving attention.
He might have.
It's just an accident, right? It's just going up for a ball and having arms.
It's the whole Alan Shearer thing, isn't it? You use your arms to jump, so don't penalise those straight elbows.
Not even like a proper arms out. It was very much like I think the arms like over his shoulder. It's not really.
Yeah. Rodri might have a bit of a shiner there. He's got the ice pack on the eye. Might have a bit of a Billy Joe Saunders going on. We'll see. Shelvey's got a free kick in an interesting position here, though, Ted.
He does. It looks about 20 yards out in a decent position, close, probably parallel to that left-hand post.
Oh, there's been action. Ted, over to you.
Oh, goodness. Well, I'm a little bit behind. Shelvey's standing over the ball. Referee stepping back.
Someone's laying under the wall, as it's so fashionable this season.
Referee blows his whistle. Shelvey steps up. Oh, hits the bar, comes back out. It's the bar for Shelvey. That's a decent effort.
Oh, wow. We were actually all on the same second, I reckon, because as you said that, he hit the bar on my screen. I saw Seb do the same expression I did.
like I said, Gianni, 2-0 to Newcastle. That's my prediction.
I reckon if Shelvey can put the ball anywhere he wants on a football pitch to take a free kick, that's where he puts it. It's the Beckham versus Greece thing. And he delivered, kind of, almost.
But apart from the fact that he didn't.
It didn't go in. But he's having a good game. If you're going off delivery, he's hit the bar on a 28-yard free kick, and his set piece delivery for the goal was pinpoint. Come on, John Joe.
So yellow card for Matt Ritchie there, takes down Gabriel Jesus. Not sure how many people own Matt Ritchie, but
he goes for a bit of a rugby tackle there, doesn't he?
He does.
Love that.
He's an interesting shout, Matt Ritchie, isn't he? Because he sort of plays with a bit advanced, and isn't he on penalties when Callum Wilson's not around?
Yeah, I think he is, and he takes set pieces. And I think now is he listed as a defender this season? Because in years gone by, when he's listed as a midfielder, we don't necessarily like him playing wing back. But if he's listed as a defender,
he's probably midfielder this year, which is probably why he's not.
He was defender last year because I owned him for ages.
He was a good one a few years ago, wasn't he? When he was a defender.
Yeah, last year he was defender because I had him for most of the season, I think. Because of the pen thing. Oh, I want to say Scott Carson's got that covered, just seeing the replay, but maybe not. Might be a bit generous. How old's Scott Carson?
He's a midfielder this year.
That's right. Okay.
Yeah, I thought so.
And Jacob Murphy, also a midfielder, playing right wing back. So maybe 2 to watch next season. Bruce Ball and all that. 2 out of position wing backs. They'll probably both be 4.5 million. If they come as defenders, Murphy and Ritchie, both pretty nailed, having good seasons now. Bruce just got manager of the month as well. Of course Newcastle were going to win this football match. Do we give Bruce enough credit, Seb?
I think Bielsa should have won it. But it's not me. It's not me that gets to decide that.
I think he had 2 draws and 2 wins, Newcastle. and draws against good teams like Newcastle, like Liverpool, 1-1 or whatever that
Wow,
finished.
Man City, Man United, and Liverpool. But no, fair enough. I can't take that away from him. He's done well. When you say do we give him enough credit? I guess it
Or do
depends,
we criticise him too much? Is probably the question.
He's certainly lumped in that conversation with the boring English manager, save relegation, whatever, which is kind of not necessarily specifically any of them. It's just all of them when we want to generically refer to them. I don't know. I mean, has he had a chance to do anything other than that job that we say he does? He's done it capably at times. I don't think he's the best at it. He's probably pretty middle of the road, to be fair.
Yeah.
I mean, look at that squad, though. Then look at the Newcastle squad.
City on the attack here. Sorry to interrupt. Edge of the box, neat passing. But I think there has been a bit of drama, so stay with me, and then I'm throwing straight to you, Ted. Ake's got the ball on the halfway line now, and Newcastle are camped. It's not a back three with wing backs. It's a bank of 5. 5-3-2, and they're really disciplined with it. Sterling out wide, having a little bit of a tussle with Murphy, carrying the ball nicely. Something is about to happen because I've seen some stuff in the chat. Gundogan out wide, crosses it in. Laid off. So it's not a Gundogan assist. Laid off to, I don't know, that is maybe Torres to Cancelo. That must take a deflection. Torres to Cancelo. So Torres gets the assist. Or maybe it was Rodri. I think it was Rodri. From the angle, on the edge of the area, almost by the corner of the 18-yard box.
Takes a deflection,
Does
I
it
think.
He laces it hard and low into the corner.
Be a Cancelo goal though. Looked on target from here, so I'd be surprised.
After what we saw last night with 2 goals not given as own goals that perhaps weren't on target, you'd like to think that that's going to be given to Cancelo.
I don't know.
Shelvey, doesn't it? It hits Shelvey's foot, I think.
I don't know if this angle is going to help all that much, to be honest.
It does take a massive deflection.
Murphy, yeah, but that's going central, isn't it, to the goal? And it takes it wider.
That angle from behind him is not helpful for the perspective. Like this one looks much more like it's going near post and it goes far post.
Yeah, it's going near post. Is it going in at the near post or even wide at the near post? I don't know. It doesn't look like he drags it too much though, does it?
Regardless, Cancelo's getting points. Either it's assist or it's a goal. And we said it's the amount of times that you go, this player looks lively. He's going to get some points this game.
Yeah,
and you just can feel it.
Newcastle in. Oh, it's not the best ball from Almiron.
Sam Maximin does some sort of Macarena dance and loses the ball. Surprise, surprise.
FPL have given it to Cancelo, by the way.
Nice.
They have.
But they could change that. But
I was going to say, just on Steve Bruce, before we had that, I think Ted was possibly going to mention something on it. I was just going to finish.
Oh, yeah, go on.
Say, like I said, middle of the road, but I think Ted was mentioning the squad. I will say that I think he's done a better job than I expected him to. If you look at Newcastle, when he was appointed, I think it was probably like, well, that's them down then.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think I felt the same. Ted?
13th in the table. If they hold on to this win, 13th in the table, which is not a bad shout considering that squad.
That's better than some of Rafa's finishes.
When he was at Liverpool? Or
and the Newcastle fans just seem to always go, oh, Rafa. But I don't think Rafa played particularly good. He did not play good football. And yeah, the results sometimes were good, but he had a lot of bore draws or scrapey 1-0 wins. Bruce just comes with that tag of, it's going to be boring and defensive. But Rafa was hardly expansive.
I mean, to be honest, if I said to you at the start of the season, Fulham, West Brom, Sheffield United going down, I'm not sure I'd be too surprised if that actually happened. Because Leeds have been great.
That's who I predicted. And
did you? Sheffield United, you predicted?
There's video proof.
Wow.
I think I might have. I did say Sheffield United with a smirk, so you can take that how you like.
Oh, Seb,
I think West Brom Fulham everyone had. Okay, we've got Gundogan over a free kick, but based on how he's standing and the time we've had so far, there might be a good 30 seconds between whatever's happened and what's going on now. Bernardo Silva and Gundogan over it. I'd expect possibly Gundogan to put this in based on he was there first. And Bernardo Silva doesn't really look that ready for it. It's from the far left-hand side. Gundogan puts it into the box, nice and low.
Come
and
on!
that is a Gundogan assist.
Get in!
Ferran Torres' goal. That is a very nice finish. Is that off the outside of his boot? He sort of flicks it across.
That's a worldy finish.
I don't know if he just redirects it or if that is really does change the direction of the ball completely. But he goes for it very nicely. It's deliberate, that's for sure.
Torres doing a Zlatan, says Medalin. I love that. He's onside, isn't he?
Yeah, he's onside.
That is a great.
Oh,
that is
goodness.
beautiful.
Yeah, actually, that's a lot better than when I first saw it. I thought he'd kind of just come across it and taken no, he's gone for the proper mid-air back heel.
That's outrageous.
That's
Mate,
great.
that's up. That's going to make goal of the season shortlist. It will be in the top 5. That is sensational.
That is very nice. And yeah, he kind of like it goes almost over Dubravka, but it's that touch that makes it because he lifts it over.
Hold up, Gwiz, always a very reliable source. One of our mods says VAR. Look, he's just put VAR.
Okay.
So maybe on this. Okay, it's been given. It's been given, says Gwiz. Thank you, mate, for updating us. Oh, it is tight though. Look at that.
I mean, it's not tight for VAR.
For VAR, yeah.
There's, Jesus is offside. There's possibly Ake offside there with the shoulder, but Ferran Torres is comfortably onside there. Yeah. The lines aren't even touching each other. It's miles onside. I'm glad we weren't deprived of that one. That was a gorgeous finish. A lot better than I gave it credit for originally as well. I thought it was one of those, where just a ball comes in and you just sort of get a shin on it or something as it goes across the goalkeeper. But he really has deliberately gone for that beautiful little flick.
And it's one of those which you think when you hit that, it's got to go in the corner to go in. And it doesn't. It goes in the middle of the goal, but it's the perfect height. It just dips under the bar.
Yeah, it's the lift kind of over. I mean, it's not quite over Dubravka. It is across him, but it's the lift that makes it.
Yeah. Zlatan-esque, again, says Ramathan. And I remember Zlatan doing similar for Sweden and FPL Sweden. I hope you're still with us. In Euro 2004, I think that was in Portugal. It was the Wayne Rooney tournament. And Zlatan scored from a set piece and Italy didn't make it out of the group. Gutted. That was terrible, that. Especially because we had come so close to winning it in 2000. We've had some bad luck in the Euros. I've seen Italy lose 2 Euros finals. Yeah, he's still doing it at Milan. Zlatan. He's been given a 1-year contract extension. I think he's 38, 39. It's unbelievable.
Does he get in the Swedish team
He's come out of international retirement for this Euros. He retired 4 years ago, I think, from internationals.
Ibra and Haaland, amazing.
Yeah.
Do you think over in Sweden tonight, a bit like you're doing with FPL Swede, every time there's a Swedish player, do you think over in Sweden they're like, oh, Joe Willock, English people, look, it's an English one.
Yeah, probs not. I do love Zlatan though. I could speak Zlatan all night.
Yes, absolutely.
What a ledge. And yeah,
that overhead kick against Joe Hart.
That retired Ryan Shawcross that night. That was his England debut, and he never played for England again. Yeah, Zlatan scored a hat trick against him.
That was his only game, wasn't it?
I think it was, and he just was run right. Was it 4-2 or something? And he scored that unbelievable. Yeah, the overhead. Who was the keeper? Ted, you meant
Joe Hart. Was it
Joe Hart?
Pretty sure it was. Yeah. Just sensational. The moments that really live with you, they come back so easily, and that was definitely one of them for me.
Oh, let's do at half-time top football moments that we remember in our head. So think about let's go for one that you saw live, and that can be anything. It can be Forest Green Rovers or whatever, and then also one on TV.
Love that you just went to Forest Green Rovers, the only vegan club ever.
I was speaking about him earlier to my mate who was going, oh, what a rubbish idea. And I was like, are you serious? If every club did that, the world would be a better place. So yeah, I had a bit of a disagreement earlier.
Like, I mean, a decent number of footballers are vegan during the season, I believe. I'm not trying to have that conversation.
No, let's have it a bit. Go on, Seb.
Clearly something they enjoy. Oh, no, I mean, I'm vegan. I know you are. But it's not something I want to preach about. You do you. If you're not vegan, clearly I disagree with you. But, whatever.
Yeah, I eat a lot of red meat.
Well, there we go.
I call myself a vegan, but do have cheat times, like Christmas Day last year. I sinned, but again, like I have a days where I know I allow myself well in advance. But yeah, it's interesting to see how many sportsmen and women are. From David Hay to Lewis Hamilton to some have said they get better performance from it, and I would advise checking out a Netflix show called, is it What the Health? I can't remember.
There's a few. What the hell?
The one with the American footballers doing all sorts of tests to go, my performance has been enhanced because of my diet. And yeah, I think it's called What the Health. I think it's that one. But yeah, it's really interesting. Just marginal gains. I've got a couple of meathead mates who have decided to go vegan purely on the fact they think they'll be able to lift more in the gym after watching that. And it's like, they couldn't give a crap about animal welfare, but they go, I might be able to lift more. So fair.
That was that. When I first went vegan, that was really interesting. I love researching all the gym stuff and obviously being like, oh, where's my protein going to come from? And the classic, oh no, soy worries with hormones and stuff, which is all, well, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a nutritionist, so do your research. But from what I understand, is basically nonsense. But it was an interesting learning curve. Very much the sort of the myths of why to do it or why not to do it clearly aren't always held up by the science.
Yeah. Before you all turn off, I think it is called the game. It might be called the game change. The game changers is another one. I can't remember which one does the American football thing, but Ramathan in the chat says the game changers ? You might be right. That is another good one. Any scoutcast for the Euros this summer? Maybe. Watch this space. I'd love to do a scoutcast for you guys around some cool games. Gundogan with the ball in, cleared. We're going to see the halftime whistle any soon. It's called Game Changer, says MC Moyes. You lot always know, don't you? Well-informed chat, as always. And it's often...
It's nice having Google available.
Oh, God.
Maximan.
Go on, Ted.
Oh, he's dribbling. He's fed it off to Willock. And he's tripped up.
Quick feet. Was that Willock with the quick feet on the edge of the box?
Yeah. But he's fallen over. I'm not sure there was a challenge.
Okay. I thought that could have been a pen, but yeah.
Clear foul by Akau. Possible penalty. VR looking at this, I think.
I mean, we didn't have the best angle because we're, obscured by, they're going that way, so obscured by the bodies in the ball. But it looked like one of those classic where he turns around and gets his foot taken.
Oh my God, Scott Carson penalty save. Imagine for the one guy that triple captained him.
Well, they're checking the offside initially for Sam Maximan. He's onside.
He looks onside from this angle, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's fine for onside.
I thought he was going to play Jolinton in there first time.
Oh, I don't know. It just looks like his...
The problem is the ref didn't give it originally, so it's got to be a clear and obvious error for the ref to...
what happens...
Oh, that's a pen.
That's a penalty.
You can't go in like that.
It's difficult, isn't it?
He stands on Ake's foot, so it's kind of fouling Ake.
Exactly.
But Ake sliding, takes his foot away and takes him down. I think they give that as a penalty.
Ake thinks he's going to pull the trigger and shoot. Ake's chucking his body to block a shot.
Yeah. Like he doesn't actually dive at all. He stands on a leg that takes his leg away. He does the splits. Like there is actually no dive there.
Is it Jolinton? Is it?
It's interesting that they're checking the onside because clearly they think it's a pen.
Yeah. But they won't give it. Will they send him over, do you reckon? They'll send the ref over, won't they?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
I think it's 6 of one and half dozen of the other, to be honest, because as you say, Seb, he steps on Ake's leg. Is that a foul? I'm not sure that's a foul.
We've had a couple earlier in the season where
out the box it's a foul.
The striker puts their foot on the defender's foot, but then that gets taken away. Which is maybe a bit inconsistent, isn't it?
Why are they taking so long? It's clearly onside. You don't need to do the lines. You're 2 foot onside. This winds me up because I'm all for VAR and for I want to see the right decision, but to spend that long looking at an offside before we even are now going to look at was it a pen? Come on. It's like 4 minutes.
I think it's worth keeping just how much it winds you up.
Yeah. I've got nothing even riding on it, for God's sake. Use it quicker.
Do you know what? This is really this is really exciting because we come into this game thinking, it's probably a boring Man City 2-0 win. And Newcastle, it's a pen. Newcastle maybe 2-2 going into half time, and you're going, this is a really exciting game to watch. So it could be a good second half ahead of us.
Okay, does Scott Carson save a penalty?
No,
almost certainly.
Who takes it? Is it Richie or Jolinton?
Jolinton looks like he's got the ball based on the camera being on him.
Richie's just patted his back, so maybe they've actually had that discussion. And Jolinton as the striker, as the big money striker, £40 million man Jolinton. Come on.
I'll be honest, before seeing this, I think Scott Carson has a very close to 0 chance of saving this. I think he's going to be pretty rooted to the spot. If you put it in either corner,
look at that graphic on screen. Yeah. He's missed 2 of 3 he's taken for Newcastle.
But those 2 he's missed are saves, right?
Yeah.
I don't think Scott Carson moves quickly enough from his middle here.
Okay, we're going to see it. Seb, talk us through it.
Okay. So Scott Carson is currently stood still in the middle of the goal. Jolinton is stepping up. Scott Carson's doing a little dance on the line. It's nice. Jolinton runs up and slots it. Oh, that's a good penalty. Straight in.
I'm happy about that.
It is the side that the little graphic showed us he would go, but it's probably hard enough well past Scott Carson, nicely into the corner.
Is it not down the middle?
He does the right way, doesn't he?
I thought that was down the middle.
I think it goes to Scott Carson's right. It ends up in the corner of the net. It'll cross probably 2/3 of the way over. But it's gone before Scott Carson can move.
Oh yeah, good pen.
Oh no, that's good
really
pen. In the side now. It's a good pen.
You're spot on though. He's pretty slow. He's pretty slow coming across that Scott Carson, isn't he?
Yeah, he is 35.
I mean, it's just he hasn't played much. I mean, I don't know if he's been injured or anything
he's
as well
third choice,
while
isn't
he's
he?
been out.
Because
But-
Zach Steffen's
Oh no,
second choice.
I wasn't about to say he's first choice over Edison, Johnny. Like that's why he's not been playing.
No, I
'cause-
thought you might be alluding to the fact he's second choice keeper. But yeah, I mean,
Oh,
we have
no,
seen
no.
Stefan playing in the cup, but I wonder if Pep is playing Carson to go, who do I want as my second choice for the biggest game in our club history, which is the Champions League final?
Do you not think he's just throwing him a start? I don't know if they have like Stefan's injured or anything. I assume he's on the bench. But I mean, I know he's the third choice keeper. It's very much that, Chelsea do that, don't they? Sign a Mark Schwarzer once a season or whatever and have your third choice goalkeeper
Yeah.
who can maybe do a bit of coaching. But the reason I mentioned
Rob
injured,
Green.
we've not heard, yeah, exactly. We've not heard anything like him for all year. So 35 is not too old, but if you're never really playing matches, and for all we know, he does his hamstring in training every week. So
Yeah.
he's probably not in match shape.
Yeah, like if he's not conceded a goal in 9 years, like that means he's not been a first choice keeper since he was like 26, which is quite frightening. He's always been a number 2.
In Turkey, wasn't he?
Okay.
So I
Did he go
don't
to
know
Turkey?
if that would include the time he left the Premier League to go to
Yeah,
Turkey.
that was a Premier League only stat. So yeah, maybe. He was Liverpool's number 2 for ages, wasn't he?
He was, yeah.
Or maybe
Do you know what
number
my
3.
biggest thing is? That
Half-time.
whenever we say footballers' age, and they always sound so old, age 35, and we always compare ourselves at how old footballers are.
Jeez.
And Lukaku was like age 20, and you're going, really? God, I'm 10 years older.
Oh my god!
I remember.
Go on, mate.
I remember being like 16 and all footballers being older than me, including like the teenagers coming through. I
Yeah.
remember. Not anymore.
I saw a picture the other day of Lukaku as a 13-year-old, and his parents had to take his birth certificate to football matches as a 13-year-old playing Sunday League to prove that this kid was 13 because he was that much bigger than everyone else. Can you see the camera there? That's Lukaku at 13
Wow.
on a Sunday League game or for his club team.
Oh my God.
You can see why the parents were having to take the birth certificate, right?
He's bigger than the ref.
That's Anderlecht's
Yeah,
youth
kinda.
team, no doubt. Yeah,
Wow.
Anderlecht's youth
Who's
team.
that? Wow. I'm going to need more than a birth certificate, I'm afraid, buddy.
Guys in the chat, we said we'd be having some fun conversation. Look, we're not going to be talking about what chips we're using or who we're captaining next week. The FPL season, for many, yes, it's important, but we know what we're doing. And some of us, the interest is there, but perhaps it's not the be-all and end-all now. Let's talk about matters outside of FPL. Of course, sticking to our common theme, our love, our passion, and that is, of course, football. So we're asking the guys, Ted and Seb, you've got a minute or two each to discuss your favourite footballing memory that you've witnessed in person and on the screen. So, Ted, I'll come to you first to give me both of those. So give me your on-screen and in-person favourite football memory.
Well, I mean, on screen there's no question for me. The only joy I've had as a Liverpool fan before winning the Premier League was the 2005 Champions League final against AC Milan, where we came back from 3 goals down. It's an easy one to pick, but I must have been about 13, 14 years old, and just watching it, had stayed up late, and it was just the best night ever. And we went on to do exactly the same thing against West Ham in the FA Cup final.
Gerrard.
It was just, yeah, absolutely. The screamers from Gerrard, absolutely incredible. It just won't get better than that for me. Even the Premier League was a bit of a damp squib for me last year. I'm not going to lie. Even after such a long time of not winning it as a Liverpool fan. So, yeah, the Champions League final 2005, absolutely incredible. Live is a tricky one. Weirdly, I've seen Fulham play more times than I have Liverpool,
Yeah.
which is weird because I was quite local to that.
Lovely ground, though, Craven Cottage.
Yeah.
It is a lovely ground.
New stand looks great as well from pics of him.
So, yeah, it's a bit of a strange one. I'm not sure I can think of too many Fulham memories for me.
Well, have a think of one, and we'll come back. In the chat, we've got free kick versus Cardiff in the playoff final. Charlie Adams free kick, that is, from Kev Mack. Kev, are you a Blackpool fan then? Let us know. Is that Charlie Austin's twin in the bottom left? Seb, that's you. Jonathan Ojao thinks you look like Charlie Austin, another footballer you're being linked with, because you get Hugo Lloris quite a lot as well, don't you?
I go, yeah, with short hair, I guess.
I got Andre Gomez today from Everton.
Okay.
I can see it with the long floppy hair.
Maybe.
Yeah. Okay, Seb, I'm going to come to you for your fave memes.
Live one would be my brother's first Leeds game. He's an Arsenal fan now, by the way, so that didn't work out. But yeah, I mean, it was versus Arsenal actually, so he gets to make that claim, which is annoying. But it was in the FA Cup. I can't remember when. A while ago, I was much younger. Thierry Henry and Robert Perez and friends were playing for Arsenal.
Yeah.
But before they beat us 4-1, the one was Mark Viduka coming down, charging down a Jens Lehmann kick, jumping, thinking he wasn't going to do anything, just the standard like cursory block. Lehmann kicks it straight into his backside and it goes in the goal. And that was a lot of good fun. And then, I mean, hey, we lost 4-1 in the FA Cup to Arsenal, but not going to lie, put that aside, seeing Thierry Henry and Robert Perez play against us live was kind of nice.
It's the Invincibles team, isn't it? Pretty much. So
yeah, I think that might have been the year before, I think. I'm not sure. I'm certain my dates there. But yeah, I mean, that era, definitely.
Yeah. Nice.
What was yours, Janu? What was your favourite live moment?
My favourite live was, again, going back to the Euros. Euro 2016, I applied for tickets to all the Italy games. It was hosted in France. I was happy to go. I used my dad's passport, pretended to be my dad, because I don't have an Italian passport. I could have one, but I don't, and I really should get one now, especially with the EU thing. And I got tickets to all the games. If Italy had got to the final, I would have been able to get all the games up to the final, so up into the semis. And we got to the quarters. And in that run, we beat Belgium in the groups, we beat Spain in the last 16, and we lost to Germany on a penalty shootout in the semis. But we also beat Sweden in the groups, or drew, I can't remember, but it was to qualify. And Eder, who guys probably won't remember, I can't even remember who he played for, only played that one tournament. Conte liked him as his number 10 for that tournament. He scored an amazing goal on the edge of the box. He ran over to celebrate in the corner. It was in the 90th minute of the game against Sweden to make us qualify for the group. And he came over to celebrate with me in the corner. And I'm there on TV going, come on! And literally I'm row 1 and he's there. And Bonucci's there and Chiellini's there. And the whole team is in the corner like that. And I've got photos on my phone and I'm on camera. My mate's at home watching on like ITV going, is that you in the crowd? So and they're literally celebrating with me. And it's like, that's my favourite memory. And then after the game, I hung around and I met Eder's wife with his son. And I've got a really cool photo with them both. And they're like wearing Eder shirts. And I'm like, yeah, I've just been celebrating with your husband like 10 minutes ago. And it was just really cool.
So good.
So that's my favourite.
One of my mum's friends from uni a while ago, the 2003 Rugby World Cup, he went over there, Australia, for the tour. And the official book that would like come with the World Cup afterwards, obviously we won it and everything. So they get that delivered because he went on the tour. So we got it as a present, I think. And they saw the cover and they were like, hold on, I recognise that flag. I travelled everywhere with that flag for 5 weeks or what have you. And it's the angle of Johnny Wilkinson putting the drop goal through the post.
Amazing.
And right there on the front cover under the flag is my mum's mate just going nuts, which is great.
Oh, that is a great story.
That is cool.
Can you imagine? You'd feel like immortalised in that achievement just through that
Forever.
picture.
Yeah,
incredible.
You'd buy a lot of copies of the book, wouldn't you?
Yeah, you would.
Speaking of buying copies of books, Johnny.
Where am I?
Oh,
Where am I?
God.
Right. Thanks, Premier League. Unlocking
Was
the
that
secret
planned?
to a top 1%.
No, that wasn't planned.
This bad boy is going to be back on sale, hopefully within a week. Check me out on Twitter. If you don't own this, what are you even doing? This is the #1 best-selling fantasy football book on the market. There's also another wicked one, Wasting a Wild Card, which you should check out. This is more stories from the community. This is how to win. Buy both. This one's back on sale in a week. Follow me on Twitter for more. Great summer reading.
I think that's the world's best segue. I'm not sure anyone's going to beat that.
I know. And as I do this, I'm trying to find this bloody photo of me celebrating with Adair. Okay, we've all done one memory each live. What about on TV? Ted, I'll come to... Oh, no, you've done your TV. You were going to do your live. Go on, I'll come to you first.
I was going to say, just in case Ted needs to think, I can probably do a TV one. I mean, it's not quite the same, but I guess obviously missing Leeds promotion season pretty much with COVID and everything.
Yeah.
So pretty recent. Pablo Hernandez scoring against Swansea. It isn't the match that actually sent us up, but it was the goal and the win that pretty much made it certain. I can't even remember mathematically. It was probably still decent, but from like a fan's point of view, the worry of like, are we going to mess this up? Yeah. That was the goal that really felt, yep, we've done this. It's now just a case of bringing it home. So I don't know all the celebrations that came with that and the pictures of the photos, the pictures of the players and everything afterwards. But that moment stands out to me, probably at least in recent memory of watching Leeds on TV.
Yeah. So yours is club over country. Interesting.
Oh, you know
Yeah.
my opinion on international
Yeah.
football.
Okay. So all my memories are country. Like I've given one. My TV one is of course winning that bad boy. Come on, 2006. Best day of my life, I'd say, so far. I was on day one of my summer trip to Magaluf with my mates at 18 years old. We arrived in Magaluf, and on the journey out, I'm wearing my Italian flag. I'm wearing it as like a sarong. I'm wearing an Italian shirt. I've got a hat on. All day, I'm in my Italian flags. Bearing in mind, I'm a guy that like doesn't even speak the language, right? I'm as English as you like. But there I am. I'm sporting the kit.
Just walking around going, Dotty.
We had like, being a package holiday at 18, you go for the most budget hotel we're staying in Magaluf, but also flights. So we're flying at like 4 a.m, right? So we're absolutely knackered by the time kickoff takes place at 9 p.m. European time. So we've been awake all day and the night before, and we're probably pissed and then hungover by that stage because we, drinking on the flight or whatever. So some of the boys go to bed because they're that shattered, and I'm like, it's night one in Magaluf and it's the World Cup final. So from the 10 of us, 5 of us head to the Strip, and it's like the in-betweeners, right? You can imagine. So there I am on the Strip. It gets to the penalty shootout, and by the way, what a World Cup final that was. We absolutely deserved it. But France got the penalty in the first 5 minutes. Malouda dive, VAR would never have given that. Zidane takes it, hits the bar, touches the line, just crosses the line, comes out, but goal is given. And in the game, Materazzi scores the header. He gets Zidane sent off with the headbutt. Materazzi also scores a pen in the shootout. Grosso scores the winning shootout. Italy score 5 in 5. The guy that misses for France, David Trezeguet, the same bloke that scored the goal in Euro 2000 that killed our hopes when we were all standing on the side of the pitch ready to run on and celebrate our win in what was the first time ever we saw a golden goal in the Euros. So we don't like Trezeguet playing against his club teammate for Juventus, Buffon. Something there. And yeah, Trezeguet missed. I think he hit the bar. And Italy win the World Cup for the fourth time in their history. Greatest day of my life, and what a result. So that was a fun night. I couldn't watch the shootout. For some reason, all my mates thought they'd support France. Why? Well, I guess because loads of Premier League players in the French team, they liked Zidane, whatever. So I was there with some of my best mates going, I want France to win. I was like, firstly, that's out of order. Secondly, I can't watch this shootout. I didn't watch any of the pens. What a moment.
I love your passion. It's
That's
so
fine.
good. Oh, I just don't have anything in comparison to that. All of my live
If I
moments...
supported England, I wouldn't either, mate. That's harsh.
To be fair, that is one thing that England fans do struggle with. Well, certainly not the hardcore ones, but the general fans, is the passion for the English team just wavers in comparison to the Premier League, which is a shame. But one of my best live moments was when I went to Wembley and saw England play Netherlands. Even though we lost 3-2, it was quite a good game. But that just says it all. I don't really have any good live moments other than watching Fulham lose 1-0 to a penalty to bloody Pompey in 90th minute. It's just awful.
Were you following when Roy Hodgson was there? So the Europa, but it wasn't the Europa.
Not,
then was UEFA
not
Cup run?
Juve out.
No, it was back in the early days. It was back in the early days. I went to see Fulham quite a lot. But I'm in Southampton now, so I occasionally go and see Southampton, and it's okay, but it's not good quality. It's not as good quality as it could be.
Okay, so club or country?
It has
Let's
to
say
be
so.
club.
There you
What
go.
you would
has to
rather
be
see
club.
Liverpool in the Champions League, or England win a World Cup?
Oh God, that's a really tough one. I mean, I'm trying to put myself back to the time where all of that World Cup hype and England got to the semi-finals of the World Cup, and it was a crescendo of excitement. And it's amazing how that happens when the whole country is on board with the same team. Everything is on the news, on the radio, and even though you're excited because you're a football fan, but even more so that everyone around you is even excited and they don't even like football.
Yeah.
So it's a really tough one. But for me, because I'm massively into my own team, I'm sure everyone has the same, that, yeah, it has to be my own team success over the national side. It's more of I don't know, you've invested less in the country, the countryside, don't you think?
I'd happily, I know what Gianni's going to say, so I'll happily provide the other end of it. I don't want England to do poorly or anything, and I guess I prefer them over any other international side. But international football doesn't really excite me, especially outside of tournaments. Inside tournaments are good fun, but outside tournaments, I really don't care. I would take Leeds going on a winning run over England, like winning the World Cup.
No!
I'm just not that interested.
Oh. That's my... Okay, so you can see sort of the ITV sport thing going on. So you can see like it's TV, and then I'm obviously like my mates blued me out there. But yeah, that was their celebration. And there's me and Tobes wearing our Italy tops. I got him in one. But
Ted, it's you with the beard.
Oh yeah, Ted, it's you. Yeah.
Amazing. I've always wondered.
There it is, and they got me to an England game. So we went to Marseille for the Russia game, right? And I was like, I'm not wearing an England shirt, so I was like, I have to wear a white T-shirt. So there's us in Marseille, and look at the T-shirt I'm wearing.
No Pirlo, no pass.
There's my white T-shirt. So we went to one England game and the rest all Italy. But yeah, that was a good Euros. Sorry, I had to find that randomly. One more, it's like self-indulgent moment, and apologies for this, but I love it too much. Was also on camera for when Italy played Spain at the Stade de France in the last 16, and my mates at home were texting me, and they're like, they just cut, they cut to random fans in the crowd. They cut to me and my mate, and I'm like, 2 English lads wearing Italy tops. Brilliant.
Are you wearing a headband?
It's the scarf wrapped around my head, yeah, and there's face
unbelievable.
Well.
I wouldn't. Just that much respect for you.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm glad the game's kicked off, or I'll just keep going through my camera reels. So we are. We're back. I mean, you can follow me on Instagram and see all these pics. Check it out. But yeah, the score is 2-2. Pepper's not made any subs yet. We do have Mahrez on the bench. We do have Foden on the bench. Marco Leary, Gianni, are you not Italian? I'm half Sicilian, half English. But I've always watched Italian football because that's what my dad did and still does.
What I really want to know is how he reacted when Luis Suarez bit
Chiellini. Oh my gosh, I was in Milan for that, and yeah, I was so angry, Just because it was the worst World Cup ever. Like, we were in the same group as England, weren't we? But yeah, it was just shocking. Suarez.
Was that the World Cup where Pirlo
Brazil,
did a Panenka penalty?
No, that was the Euros in Ukraine against England with Joe Hart, and it went to pens. Roy Hodgson's England, maybe early on in Roy Hodgson's career. And Pirlo in his book writes, we were losing in the shootout, and I couldn't just score a goal. My responsibility wasn't score. I had to do something more than score. So I decided to do a Panenka.
Loved it.
Oh, Newcastle.
Someone doesn't know how a penalty shootout works, but okay.
There's an English fan. I've got a picture of that on my bedroom wall, right? And there's an English fan behind the goal, right front and centre, just above the crossbar, and he pulls his pants down for the pen. So you can see all these England flags, and there's this bloke wearing a T-shirt with no bottoms. And as you see the ball in the end, Joe Hart doing that, you can see this guy who's just completely naked, and he's literally just above the crossbar. Of course, it was an England fan doing that.
I wonder how he feels about that decision now.
Yeah, that print has made it all round. Yeah.
Oh, just bold football fan decisions. I love it. I remember the guy who tattooed Man City champions on the day that Aguero scored that 3-2 winner, and he had it done before the match. And,
oh my God.
And I was going,
oh, wow.
It's 2-2. And I just thinking of that guy with his tattoo going, no!
Wow.
That moment for him must be 10 times better than anyone else.
Was that QPR they beat on the final day?
It was.
Someone in the chat put that was their favourite memory, and that is one we all remember. The Martin Tyler commentary of that.
Oh.
Didn't that also win someone FPL? I might be making that up, but I swear there was I don't know if it was Aguero, maybe it was like, other players or assists. Maybe it was Balotelli, wasn't it, assist, something like that. But I swear that moment also swung her first and second place, like overall in FPL.
Nice.
I mean, check that out. Maybe it was a mini league, but that's the story that I've got in my head.
Love that story. And I love that it can win Man City the title and be enough to win someone FPL as well. Like, that's cool. Gundogan finds Cancelo on the edge of the box. Cancelo, neat footwork. He is so advanced, Cancelo. I think there might be another attack in return for him today.
Well, we were saying earlier when you asked, where do we prefer him? It's this slot on the left when he's the one that comes in saying, I can't remember if it was off before we started or just afterwards, but talking about how many playmakers are in this City team today. Arguably Gundogan and then Cancelo as the second primary playmaker, and he really is doing that role.
Absolutely. And now it's a free kick to Man City on the edge of the box. Jesus dances around Newcastle defender and he's brought down. And it's Gundogan stepping over the ball with Bernardo as a backup, presumably. So we might see a delivery into the box and maybe a chance from a headed attempt. We'll see.
Looking at the angle we've got here, just from behind the ball, it's one of those where I just want him to just go for that far post. I'll put it on someone's head or curl it into the far post.
Yeah. The keeper's got the far post covered.
Ooh, not far off that, to be fair. He went low, but
so the
did
ball
that get
comes
a little
in.
Touch?
I'm not sure it did.
Ake's got to go for that. Ake sort of goes to commit and then doesn't.
It's exactly as you say, Seb. He's trying to do a fast ball into the area that goes in the top in the,
it should
in
be
the
a
far corner. It is a corner.
Yeah, it is. Gundogan on the corner here.
That's a really good delivery. So we've seen Gundogan's delivery for the goal, for the Torres goal, which was brilliant, and then that again. And now we're going to see a corner coming in.
Cleared away by Newcastle, and possibly a break on here with Saint-Maximin if he can bring it down. Maybe the opportunity gone there, but no, clearly cleared away, easily cleared away by Newcastle.
Louis Ashton, that was Balotelli's only assist for Man City, the Aguero goal. Really,
Was
Louis? That's amazing stat.
What, ever?
Yeah.
In the league, I might have to fact check that. That's great if that's true.
And it was. I remember that assist quite well because he sort of gets there on the edge of the box. I think he's just come on as a sub and he sort of falls on the floor and knocks it. And Aguero does the rest. I mean, what a finish that was at the near post.
That's one of those memories you just remember where you were when that happened.
Yeah.
It's such a good memory. And
the scenes when they cut to you.
To be a fan.
No.
Do you? You just love it.
Yeah.
Because of the drama.
Ridiculously, in the league at least, which I've got here, Balotelli got 1 assist for Man City in 20 games. Oh, sorry, 20 goals.
Yeah.
Not 20 games. That makes more sense.
Probably more like
20
games.
goals, 1 assist in 3 years in the league for Man City. Yeah, nice
Incredible
knowledge.
Stat.
Nice stat.
Lovely stat.
Yeah. Greedy Balotelli.
But then again, he gets the best assist of all time. So,
yeah,
you know.
Yeah. Man City fans loved Balotelli, didn't they? And rightly so. What a character.
That was very much the peak of his. Is he going to become stupidly good level, or is he just going to disappear?
The why always me
he
goal.
was very much still. Yeah.
That was at Old Trafford, edge of the box. He'd just days before been arrested for setting off fireworks in his flat in Manchester. Yeah, such a wasted talent. And the Euros we spoke about with the Pirlo Panenka was the Euros Balotelli absolutely smashed it. He was brilliant and he ruined Germany, I think it was, in the semis. We got to the final, lost to Spain, but I think it was England maybe in the quarters. But yeah, he outclassed Germany and scored a brilliant goal.
Gundogan foul on Saint-Maximin here. I don't think he's been booked or anything, but there's been a couple of those now. He might be in line for totting up at some point.
Yeah, Ryan says a great memory unless you're a United fan. I do remember the scenes. Were they playing Sunderland or Middlesbrough? And it cuts to the Stadium of Light or Riverside, and yeah, they're all looking, going, "Has it finished yet? Has it finished? I think we've won the title. And then you see Fergie's face drop as the news comes in that Aguero has scored. The fact it's your City rival as well, that is just special memories.
Yeah. I think City probably did deserve it that year as well. I mean, obviously, level on points, goal difference, whatever it was. So when I say deserve it, it's marginal. But wasn't it something like they scored more goals, conceded fewer, won more games or something, beat Man United? It was like on every metric, if you're going to finish level, they were better. Yeah. So it probably did go the right way.
I think, wasn't it? It was Sunderland, apparently, Callum said. I think, were they 8 points clear or 6 points clear, and then with a few games to go, and then, so we all thought they were going to win it, and then they started sort of drawing games, and then United came into it. But was that the first Premier League title they won, and with the new money they had, and with Mancini at the helm? Was that the first? That was presumably the first big one.
Possibly. But Man United played QPR, didn't they? Man United.
Oh, Man City played QPR.
You sure?
I think it was United away at Sunderland, according to the chat. They were at the Stadium.
3-2, wasn't it? And I can't remember. I think QPR may have scored first.
Were they relegated?
Yeah, it was definitely QPR.
QPR. But was there something in it for them as well? I think there may have been. I'm pretty sure they went down off the back of that. Perhaps they were already down, but I think that was like the Joey Barton QPR team.
I feel like they were already down, but someone in the chat will set us straight.
Yeah, they will indeed. They did the Poznan and wound Rooney up, says G-Wiz. Yeah. Well, apparently we're bringing home some bad memories, says Callum. Yeah, sorry about that.
Oh, no.
You don't love very sorry, Johnny.
Yeah, I know. I'm loving this memory chat. I get to relive my memories of Italy, and I get to see this.
Newcastle have a corner, by the way. Matt Ritchie over it this time rather than Shelvey, so from the opposite side. Decent enough delivery. Oh, actually, not a bad delivery at all. Carson probably could have come for that.
Yeah.
Still bouncing around, cleared away in the end. But I think a Newcastle head got on it. They just didn't direct it at goal. But one of those, I'd say almost 6-yard box, and Carson is stuck to his line. Oh, ball in again and just cleared away. Definitely something there. I mean, I say after Newcastle have scored 2 goals, but definitely something for Newcastle if they can continue to get those set pieces.
Yeah, I think it was Zabaleta that got the first goal, 1-0, then 2 goals from QPR. Joey Barton madness that he didn't get a red. Okay, I'm not surprised to hear that. Had a fight with everyone apparently. Against his old team, of course. He should have been pleased Man City were winning the league. We've got Newcastle on the attack here as well. 54 minutes gone. We'll be giving you a bit of a bonus points update when we get to 60.
Lovely dribble from Saint-Maximin.
Nice. Yeah.
Flushes it out wide. Cross in. Oh, it's a save by Carson. Does really well, Saint-Maximin. He's a talented guy. He's just doesn't do it often enough.
Oh, they survived relegation.
You say he doesn't.
Sorry, Seb.
Sorry, no, you go, Jan.
No, QPR survived relegation that day and Bolton went down. But yeah, what an amazing day then, because everyone was a winner. That's why Barton was so wound up. He thought they were going down. Go on, St. Max, Seb, what's your take?
I was just going to say, I'm happy to be wrong, but you say he doesn't do it often enough. I'd argue, considering he's been injured a fair bit this season as well, in a Newcastle team that doesn't have all that much to help him out. Depends on your definition of often enough. Sure, more goals, assists, maybe, but he's probably second in the team for that behind Wilson. I think he does a very good job considering the tools he's got to work with. And I think we so often can see him as someone who, I don't know, is like a slick dribbler and that's all. Yeah. But he's very good at a couple of roles. He's a pretty good playmaker himself.
Is he it's a good point. Is his end product good enough, though? Is he a bit of a Adama Traore 2 years ago? That's
that classic argument. I mean, perhaps, realistically, that's where maybe stats are good, right? Because we can actually see what his conversion rates and stuff are like. Maybe. But then we maybe get biased into, when it's Newcastle, so he has fewer chances. We see him not take them or what have you. If he was like in this Man City time, aside, he'd probably get 3 times as many chances. So maybe we wouldn't worry about him not converting as many. So
that's the thing, isn't it?
Not certain.
If you put him in
yellow
an
card
Arsenal
Cancelo,
side,
by the way. Carry on, Ted.
Yeah, if you put him in an Arsenal side, does he start, getting 180 FPL points a season? That's the question. I suppose you have to worry about his injury record, but if he stays fit and plays in a top 6 side, then I'm sure he has the quality to do well. But yeah, no, I do agree with you that he does have moments of quality, and I suppose it's the injury stuff that really does affect his consistency. So maybe it is a little bit harsh on him. He is a talented guy.
I think he's definitely improved over the last couple of seasons. Maybe more of the looked really good, but maybe didn't quite deliver was truer a couple of years ago. But there's a reason I picked him in game week 1 this season. The season before and early parts of the season before injury and whatnot, I think he started to look a lot more effective.
Yeah, absolutely. I love when we mention game week 1 because it brings on next season's game week 1. And I love game week 1 because we always have those gems that everyone seems to pick.
Isn't game week 1 is the best week of the year because you spend, I say all summer or 2 weeks if it was last year or whatever, hopes and dreams and plans, and your squad always seems like a good idea. Sorry,
I think you wild card a week later.
Yeah, exactly. But you can make such good arguments for everything, and none of it comes off.
Everything just goes out the window. You just pick who you want to pick off no stats other than pre-season, which are nothing. And everyone just has a bit more fun about it other than delving into the spreadsheets.
Did anyone else here start the season with St. Maximin because he ended Project Restart so well? Because I did.
I think I did as well, yeah.
I did.
And we looked at the Project Restart form. And I remember we'd started doing Scoutcast match days. And he was on fire. He was getting goals and assists for fun over the last, 5 games. And we just all went, St. Max, he's still only 6 million or whatever. Let's bring him in. But yeah.
He was playing number 10 as well. Yeah. And then at the beginning of the season, he played out on the left. And that was immediately like,
They signed Wilson as well. And we were like, oh my God, there's going to be some end product. And then did they go and beat West Ham early on in first game of the season? Or did they lose to West Ham? They played West Ham. But yeah, he wasn't involved or didn't get any points. And then we all just went, give him a couple more weeks. And then by game week 3, everyone had sold him.
I like the challenge of game week 1 as well. It's arguably the point in the season when you're going to have the least funds available, and we don't know who the cheap players are to let us have the good ones yet.
Yeah.
So it's arguably the hardest squad building challenge of the whole season. And you're trying to set yourself up for 5, 6, even 10 weeks if you don't want to go on wildcard or something.
Yeah.
I like the strategy that's involved in it. And then, like you say, we get it wrong in wildcard.
I've just looked it up. He was the ultimate troll at the start of the season. So we all brought him in for game week 1, and Newcastle beat West Ham and lost to Brighton in the second game, and then didn't play a minute in game week 3. Everyone sold him ahead of game week 4, and then he got a goal and assist against Burnley in game week 4. I actually remember that.
That sounds exactly like what I might have done, because I made no transfer between 1 and 2. Oh no, that's a lie. I think I brought in Martial. And then, in game week 3, I think I might have got rid of him and someone else. I think I brought De Bruyne in. I had that plan where game week 1 went all right. Although lucky, I had Jamie Vardy, who got those 2 penalties and did nothing else. No shots, nothing, and just scored 2 penalties. And then I had that plan of doing, because City and Man United didn't play.
You booked a transfer for Martial.
Yeah, it was bringing the Martial, then bringing De Bruyne the following week. And, we were talking the other day, Gianni, about poorer seasons and why. Probably sticking to that plan when Man United looked quite different, I would say, than we expected, at least early on. They didn't look great going forward. Sticking to it for too long probably was my first error.
Wow. There's been a bit of drama. Torres, by the way, has gone off, but I think he's coming back on. He's gone off, he received treatment. If he is sub, then you expect Mahrez or Foden to be on ASAP, but I think he's going to come back on. But Newcastle are on the break here, and it is our boy, no, it's not St. Max, but I'm sure he'll be involved. They are on a break. It's Almiron down the left. Remember, the score is 2-2. We're at 60 minutes in, hour played, still even. Nice footwork. Is that a
penalty?
Oh, that's got to be.
Walker, Kyle Walker, he knows he's given a pen. He kicks the board in frustration. You've got to think that's going to be given, just off Walker's reaction.
Dances around. Kyle
and Willock has picked up the ball.
And he's doing that.
Decisively
he's doing
as well.
That. He's going, this is my... Surely it's Matt Ritchie's turn. He let...
No, that's. I'd say that's definitely a pen. Walker's saying no, but he just clatters into his legs, doesn't he?
It's 100% a pen, isn't it?
It's a good change of pace from Willock, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, Walker's got a good change of pace, but Willock really drives away from him there.
He does. You don't see that very often with Kyle Walker. Maybe he's just on the turn, but Willock will get won't get the assist, but we'll get the penalty. So another opportunity here for the bloke who triple captain Scott Carson to get a penalty save.
Don't you find that sometimes with penalties that the defender that makes the challenge is almost embarrassed that someone's got away from him, and then he just tries to rectify it and it just ends up fouling him. So it's pride more than anything else. Right, let's see what happens.
Yeah, talk us through
You've got to think, Scott Carson. You've got to think it happens.
Written in the stars. 2-2. This is a big opportunity. He's standing over it now.
Oh, he does.
No! Oh, the rebound.
So
still get the penalty save,
but he does get the save.
That's massive. Wow. Gets the save. Late riser laughing.
No, I think it's penalty.
I don't know. I think it's 5, but he does. 5. He's almost certain to get bonus points as well, because in the BPS, a penalty save is massive.
Oof. How do you like your luck for that? He is.
Oh, he can barely get up.
Conceded 3 goals, but saved a penalty.
He's put his back out. He can barely get up. It's a weak pen.
Yeah, it's not great.
First to react though. Should the City players... I mean, obviously he's nearer the ball, but the City players aren't the quickest to react. Garcia tries to get there. Tap in. 3-2. Get Mahrez on. Come on. For all those that captain Mahrez, I'm guessing you don't want him on, but I could see Mahrez coming on and getting some attacking returns here.
Come on, Foden. Let's get on and get a couple of goals. Let's go.
Yeah, so, okay, question. Do you want... Okay, if you own Mahrez or Foden, do you want the 25 minutes or do you want your sub 1 coming on? Depends who your sub
25 minutes, please, because my sub 1 is Veltman.
Yeah. And it's 3-2. Like, City are going to score again. You can always guarantee it. There's going to be a lot of goal mouth action in the next half an hour. We're watching a brilliant, fun game here, and City are on the attack.
It's good fun.
Cancelo with the ball out to Walker. I think something may have happened, to stay with me. Walker on the edge of the box. Finds Rodri. Rodri finds neat pass in Bernardo Silva. They're going to play it wide. It looks like it's Sterling out on the right-hand side.
Oh, it's a goal.
Oh, it is.
Torres again.
Baron Torres again, yeah.
Number 21.
Unbelievable.
That was the one for the free hitters.
Was that Gabriel Jesus rather than Sterling out wide? I think it might have been Jesus.
Sterling was on the left, I believe.
So it was Jesus with the assist. That lead didn't last long, did it?
Crikey, you couldn't have chosen a better game to do Scoutcast Match Day on, could you?
We've picked two really rubbish games recently. But before that, our record was really good. So I'm glad we picked a good one. Now, just checking. Well, no, there's no offsides. We're good.
Decent.
No, that's fine. Yeah, Jesus over to Ferran Torres, and a good little finish in the end. I mean, there's no one near him. It's near the 6-yard box, just stretching to get his left foot on it and puts it away.
We've seen this before with Torres. He is a very good finisher and potentially more a forward than a wide forward. And it's going to be interesting to see what Pep does with him. He might become a number 9. He's very good in front of goal.
Has he ever played number 9? I don't think he did over at Valencia.
No, I don't think so. But for City in the Champions League earlier this season, the group stages, he had a game or two, maybe Marseille.
Ooh. Do you see that little roulette from Sam Maximin?
I didn't see it.
It was so good. The pass came to nothing. The ball is in Scott Carson's hands, but he's sandwiched between two players and he just does a little roulette to get out of it, keeps the ball under control and then plays it through to Willock. It's lovely.
Someone in the chat bought in, had Foden and Mahrez and changed it because of the team news leaks for Torres and Gundogan. So let us know who that is. I think it might be Tuhin, actually, because he's celebrating, saying, I'm back. So you have got an assist from Gundogan. You got 2 goals from Torres. That's massive.
That's good. That's really good.
And they're both differentials.
I probably would have gone, if I was in that position, Sterling, possibly just because, what do I do? A few minutes left. Sterling's playing, I'll go Sterling. So, Gundogan's, I guess, an easier one. But Torres is a good shout.
Tuhin, don't do that.
Newcastle on the break here. Sorry, Newcastle. Almiron takes it up, gets a lucky break with deflection. And it's Murphy that drives right back and crosses it in, but it's cleared. But Newcastle definitely in this game.
Tuhin, don't do that thing where you go, I should have captained Torres. Look, enjoy your wins. Brilliant. You've done remarkably well by identifying 2 players. You were never considering captain Torres. So don't do the I should have. We all do that, and it's so wrong. You shouldn't have because you never were even thinking about it, right?
Especially if he's made that last-minute transfer.
City on the attack here. I think we've had a bit of drama. Cancelo with the ball on the left takes a shot.
Cancelo hit the post. Ferran Torres has a hat-trick.
2 minutes ago, Newcastle were winning this football match. It's now Newcastle 3, Man City 4. We've got a Torres who's probably 3% owned with a hat-trick.
What is this game? This is a great
game. Less than that. Cancelo assist as well for anyone who's got him.
Oh, yeah, with the hitting the post and the rebound, you'll get the assist for that.
I regret that more deeply.
0.9%
for Torres, my friend.
Oh, my goodness.
So just on the captain, though, because now you might be thinking it more. Unless you captained the person you replaced Torres with, so Mahrez or what have you, you were definitely never doing it. If you had it on Salah, you were always captaining Salah. You were never looking at the City game. Torres wasn't a better option than Mahrez, sorry. So of course you weren't going to do it.
Yeah, he's actually, oh my God. Late riser, I'm just checking his team because he was on a free hit and he bought. And I know he would have gone triple City after seeing the team. If he's bought Torres,
he had Diaz, Foden, and Mahrez, I think, didn't he?
So he changed. I'm just looking. So he definitely has Cancelo. Has he posted it? I'm gonna go. Right, he went Gundogan, Carson. So he only went double City by the looks of it.
Oh really? He's got some returns, a fortunate penalty save and a decent assist from Gundogan.
He'll be watching that thinking, if I had known 100% Torres was starting, he probably would have considered that on a free hit because he's what, 6.5, 7 million?
He must have known because he has Carson.
Yeah, no, the leaks didn't give the 11. The leaks only gave, I know a few players that aren't playing, and there was never like this is the 11. It was the rumor was Scott Carson will start, and there was also rumors that Mahrez, Foden, and Aguero were benched or not in the squad.
Fair. In that case, the person who brought in Torres as well, that's even a little bit more credit. I mean, if you work it out, I guess he would have had to start because there aren't that many players left. But if you didn't know he was going to start for sure, nice.
Yeah, unless Tuchel had a different in the know, but I don't think we'd had any sort of strong confirmation Torres was starting. So fair, because again, I'd seen Gundogan. I think the guy that broke it might have been Sam Lee actually for the Athletic. He put in the chat on the Athletic, and people posted screen grabs. Did say Gundogan starts, and then he wasn't sure on Mahrez. He was like, I'm not sure, but his original post a few hours before that was saying, I thought Man City would be full strength today, but it's a heavily weakened team. And then people asked questions and he gave answers. Cancelo down injured here.
So the deadline will be 3 hours before kickoff next year then.
Yeah, right.
I think he's probably okay there. I'm not sure. I can't really see he's holding general shin area, which is always you're fine.
Yeah. The only place you've got protection on your legs and you're probably fine.
Oh, it's absolutely incredible he brought in Torres because if you think about it, like logically, Mahrez and Foden hadn't played much minutes in the recent Premier League games. And you go, well, surely they're on the cards for playing some minutes today. So that's why they were heavily targeted, certainly on social media. So to go Torres over the obvious ones, really, really ballsy.
Oh, we shouted Mahrez so much on the Scoutcast based on, that logic and his numbers recently.
Tuhin, he went Torres. He went on Torres' Instagram account and saw his story. See the difference between his story and Mahrez' story. Interesting. Also, to make my decision easier, I saw Late Riser had said he was removing Mahrez. And yeah, Late Riser has said, you look at Aguero's Insta stories on match days, they're when he's in the squad, he always does a certain type of Insta story, and he hadn't done one today. So we knew from like lunchtime today, Late Riser tweeted, no Insta story today from Aguero. So from that alone, we kind of knew. But interesting.
That's next level. I have never gone on a footballer's Insta to see if I think they're starting. No.
I write about it in the book, and in my diary, I remember I'm talking about Lindelof's wife giving birth, and if she goes into labour, and I'm following his wife to see if she goes into labour to know if the next day Lindelof's not going to start.
I both pity you and am impressed by you in equal measure. Spending a Friday afternoon snooping through Instagrams to see if people are starting.
Yeah, players' wives as well, not just the player. It goes beyond that.
I don't have time for that. I don't have time for that.
It's pretty impressive though.
I don't have time for that. Yeah.
The amount of joy you must get for being right, from being sleuthy on Instagram, and you get that.
You've earned it.
Yeah, no. When I was on Baby Watch 2 years ago, and then I thought it was so much fun. Like every day, I felt like I was the dad or something. I was so I had that nervous anxiety going. Is she going to go into labour? Because for some reason, I really needed Lindelof to play. Yeah.
On balance, I'm going to say Lindelof was probably slightly happier than you were, Danny, but...
It gets worse. I remember even looking into the fact, is it his firstborn? Oh, if it's his firstborn, he's more likely to be in the hospital. If it's his second or thirdborn, maybe he's willing to miss it for an important football match. Like, I remember having those conversations in my head. How ridiculous. Yeah.
I mean, you look back on that and it's just incredible. It's absolutely incredible what goes through your head when you're trying to justify when someone's going to play a football match.
That's why the diary...
The silly things we do for a made-up game.
That's why the diary in the book was so much fun, because I was literally doing my day-by-day account for a season. Chris James in the chat. Late to the stream. Did I miss anything? Chris. Yeah, you have. You've missed a hell of a lot of good chat. Firstly, thank you to my guests. That is Ted, not Toby. If you want to follow Ted, you can check out his handle. I'm putting it in the chat now. It's Ted Talks FPL. You can also, of course, follow Seb, and you can follow me. But yeah, graphic error, no biggie.
Don't follow me. Follow Ted.
Indeed. In fact, we follow Ted on Insta for his graphics. I mean, they go on Twitter too, and also the Scout Instagram. The graphics are very impressive, Ted. They're my favourite way of digesting data that I don't like looking at on spreadsheets, and therefore don't digest much data. But your charts, I love.
You're very, very kind. Very, very kind. Thank you.
It's true. Without them, I wouldn't even see those stats because I've got no time or interest in looking at a spreadsheet.
That's the idea, I guess, to try and make it as accessible to people of all, interests. And
what are you trying to say?
Let's just move on swiftly.
Accessible to even people like you.
I mean, the amount of times, funny enough, the amount of times we say, FPL is a bit more fun when you don't delve into the numbers so deeply and you just make some gut decisions. There is a lot of truth to that. But you want the reassurance of people being good, right?
I was going to say, I don't know, I like winning. Or losing, as it is this season, but, trying to win.
Yeah, we won't even talk about ranks. We'll save that for the Gameweek 38 stream. Guys, Tuhin, who has had this massive win, by the way, Tuhin, he's the guy that, as you may have seen in the chat, brought in Torres and Gundogan. He says it's his first full season. He started at game week 2 as well. Not that good at overall rank at 310k before this week, aiming for top 100k. Just so happy for the Torres punt. Mate, we're delighted for you. Well played. And to start in game week 2 and be on an overall rank of 310 before tonight, and you're going to get a massive green, well played. Good effort. We
absolutely
hope to have you back next season.
What was the average in game week 1? Probably like 40, 50 or something?
Yeah, because Salah, loads captain Salah and he got a hat-trick. And Aubameyang got 2 as well. So, and Vardy. It's probably a high.
I think Aubameyang only got 1, I think.
Did he? Oh, yeah, he did.
Captain,
I had Aubameyang captain too. Yeah. Craven.
I mean, yeah, if you just give him the average from game week 1, he probably already is in the top 100k.
Where is TED Talks FPL? I only see Toby Marget. No, Tyrell, that is not Toby Marget. Toby has a beard. That's Ted. It's just an issue. So Cancelo off, by the way. Chris James says denied. Chris, you got 2 assists from your boy. You're happy with that? You're not. Yeah.
Might be in the shout for bonus. I've not had a look actually.
Oh yeah, go on. Give us an update on bonus, Seb.
Uno momento.
I don't think Gundogan's going to have any luck, but I wouldn't be surprised if Carson's on for a Brucey.
So Torres obviously is top and getting the 3 bonus. Nothing going to change there.
Yeah.
Cancelo is second. He will get 2 by the looks of it. Pretty clear of Carson.
10 points.
Joe Linton is on for the... Oh, no, sorry. He's just behind Carson. So it would be Torres, Cancelo and Carson at the moment.
Wow.
Although Jesus and Joe Linton are just behind him.
So I can't remember. You might get 6 for a penalty save. It's 5 or 6. It's big.
5.
Is it 5?
Carson, when I checked, he was on 6 points. So 1 for turning up and losing 1 for conceding goals
2
and
for
5 for saving a penalty.
Yeah. There you go, guys. You've asked about the bonus points. And as you're asking, Kevin, we are giving it to you. So there you go. So it's 4-3. No subs yet. If you own Mahrez, you own Foden, you're probably now thinking you don't want them on. Well, it depends on your benches. Although most people don't have benches this weekend because of course there's 4 teams not playing. There's Veltman injured, as Ted's got, so you probably do want them on. And Mendy has just come on as well. So the one sub we've seen from Pep. By the way, we very rarely see Pep using all 3 subs in the Premier League in the last few months. Despite he was the guy that was calling for more subs 6 months ago, by the way.
He's very much changed to sort of rotating the lineups more and giving people 90, hasn't he, as opposed to making subs during the match.
Which I like. Got a lot of time for that. He is utilising his squad. And what a squad. You know, you look at the team today. Probably 3-4 of them are going to start the Champions League final. They've still gone and scored 4 goals in a Premier League game.
I'm going to start following Sergio Aguero on Instagram. That's what I'm going to do.
Yeah. Well, apparently we've had in the chat from Marcus Hellstrom, who's Swedish by name. Easy with Lindelof. He's a big... Oh, his wife, she is a big Swedish influencer and posts a lot. Yes, she does.
Newcastle on the break here. Almiron driving forward and he's threading it and he doesn't make a good pass. He almost threads Joe Linton through.
Wrong ball.
He's passed that to Ake.
That wasn't on. And do you know what? The run is so good. You're taking the defender with you. Carry on your running. You're in. There's such a clever run. He didn't want the ball with that run. He just wanted to drag the defender out.
It's unfortunate. You can definitely sense Newcastle. There's potentially another goal in it for them.
Have City conceded 3 goals in a Premier League game this season? I mean, who thought Newcastle, Bruce Ball, scores 3 goals against Man City?
Unbelievable.
I mean, 2 of them were pens, but you got to win the pens.
They lost 5-2 to Leicester.
5-2 to Leicester, yeah.
Don't remember that.
Yeah, early on, weirdly, wasn't it?
Oh, Gundogan, tricky feet. 1-2. It just doesn't drop for him. Doesn't drop right for him. He does take a shot in the end, but he's lost the opportunity there.
It's a bit of a wasted shot, really, there.
That was a bit of an anomaly for Man City, though. Definitely not conceded more than 2 goals for the rest of the season.
Agreed, from what I can see. So this would be the first night they've conceded more than 2 since Leicester.
Great question from Manan in the chat. Seb, I'll come to you on it. Your views on home fans. Will it increase the number of goals? Will it increase your transfer in each week for the next 2 weeks? And maybe your captain decisions? Will you be bringing in home players? Will you be captaining home players?
Oh, we chatted about this on the Scoutcast. So, I mean, yeah, if you obviously believe in a home and away split, which I think is fair to say it exists, although you'd want to be careful drawing too many specific player conclusions because sometimes, I think there was a good one a couple of seasons ago where Mane was the best pick at home all year and Salah was better away.
Right.
And then the following season it flipped, like completely flipped. So I don't know if anything changed, but if you'd followed that logic, you would have got it wrong 2 years in a row, if you like. And both players were better at home together all season. It was just when they were versus each other. So they both got more points at home, just one of them got more away. So if you had to pick between the 2 of them. But for teams in general, yeah, of course, home is better. And we think, of course, that's partly the fans. It's partly playing somewhere, maybe close to your house, etc., a normal build-up that you're used to. But the fans have a big part in that. But the thing they affect, we were talking about on the Scoutcast, and we were wondering, well, yeah, naturally you might think you're usually going to cheer people on to score more goals.
Yeah.
We were thinking it might be, well, the managers probably aren't going to change their tactics. So to use Everton was the example we had. If Everton are going to attack, cool. Maybe they, attack a little bit more, have a little shot they wouldn't have had or what have you. But if Everton are going to set up in one of those, the blocks that Ancelotti will go for and kind of relish defending, it almost could heighten that. Because if the players are running the extra yard or trying that a little bit harder for a clean sheet because the crowd's behind them, if the crowd believe it's justified, if they're playing Man City, for example, on the final day, the crowd would probably take a draw. So they will be very happy to see some good defending. So I think it's a case of looking at what you think the expected result might be, and then it maybe just amplifies that.
Interesting. Yeah, I like that.
It's an interesting one, isn't it? Because I'm sure the footballers got used to the fact that there's no fans in the stadium, so that it's going to take maybe 3 or 4 games before they start getting used to actually fans being around. Some footballers are going to love that pressure, that additional pressure of pleasing the fans, and some maybe aren't that, up to it. So maybe it has different effects on different players, as you said.
They won't be able to hear each other. Or the coaches.
Yeah, that'll be a different experience. I'm excited for the teams that like Leeds that haven't played Premier League football for, I don't know, 10 years, and they're going to play at Ellen Road in Gameweek 38, and I think they're playing, is it West Brom? I'm thinking that's definitely a double Leeds attacking game. You get your Bamford and your Rafinha double up for Gameweek 38 alone. Yeah. I just see that little, the Ellen Road fans, even if there's, 8,000 of them, it will still be noisy. Bamford will be up for that. Potentially up for an England place. I don't see it because he's not made any of the squads, but there is the 26 spaces now available, remember? So you've got to think there's at least one more forward spot. But it's going to be fun.
Do you know what it's going to really do? I think without a doubt, it's going to increase my attention, my enthusiasm for watching football. And fans being in the stadium is going to encourage other fans to be excited. Yep. I'm tired of the canned fan cheering on TV. I'm tired of it. So I'm really, really looking forward to having fans back in the stadium. 100%.
Yeah. Torres is the 3rd youngest player to score a Premier League hat-trick for Man City. The 3rd youngest. Any idea who might be the 2nd and 1st youngest player to score a Premier League Man City hat-trick?
Torres is 21, is he?
Yeah, he plays for plays for Spain, but he's been in the under-21s as well.
Has Foden got a hat-trick yet?
I don't think Foden's got one.
This is just for Man City, right?
Foden's not one of the answers, so he can't have. Because although I think Torres might be a little bit younger than Foden by months, but
that's a really good question.
I'm just looking at Ferran Torres' age, not goal scorers.
A clue. One of them is currently in the squad, and actually currently on the pitch at the moment. He started tonight.
Raheem Sterling.
Yeah, so he must have moved from Liverpool to City really young. I know. Yeah. So Sterling is the youngest Premier League.
We forget how good Raheem Sterling is.
And I know how good he was when he was 17 for Brendan Rodgers with Sturridge and Suarez. That triple SAS.
I know he's not Wright Phillips or something.
Oh, nice.
No, but that's a great guess. I like that. Okay, I'll give you another clue. We've spoken about him tonight for his part in a very famous goal.
Balotelli?
Balotelli.
Really?
Yeah. I did not realise he was that young.
Neither did I.
He was scoring goals at City.
Again, he was obviously that good, that young, because he was doing it in Italy for a couple of years, like Sterling was doing it at Liverpool.
Yeah,
it's unbelievable. The footballers we think are older, like the Diego Costas, the Balotellis, we put them on a pedestal and think they're much older than we all are.
Thomas Muller.
Very strange. Yeah.
Thomas Muller should be about 50. I think he might be 20. I mean, there's every chance he's over 30 now, but I remember thinking
he was in that
for so long.
He was in that famous game with Frank Lampard, the ghost goal, wasn't he? The Germany-England game when and that Ozil ran the show that night. But I think Muller was in that team, and it was like, who are these new German kids? And Ozil and Muller were just outstanding.
Thomas Muller is 31 now. Schweinsteiger, retired a couple of years ago? Yeah. And I think of Thomas Muller as Schweinsteiger's peer.
Yeah, like Neuer kind of era as well. Neuer's 35 and retired, I guess. No, is Neuer retired? No, not Neuer.
Neuer still plays for Bayern Munich every week.
I'm thinking Oliver Kahn. Olivier Kahn, not Oliver Kahn.
Did Muller and Kahn play together? That feels like an overlap of a generation.
No, I feel like that Ozil and Muller team that I referenced from 12 years ago, I think that may have been Neuer breaking through at the same time.
So it looks like a double change for Newcastle. Sean Longstaff is coming on for Joe Linton's coming off, and
Richie.
Jamal Lewis is coming on. Yeah, Richie came off. So Lewis and Shawlong's on.
Interesting. You're bringing on a holding mid and a fullback for a fullback and a striker. So you're 3-4 down. Maybe is Dwight Gale not on the bench?
So change of shape though, maybe. I mean, Darlington coming off doesn't. Yeah, but does it go from being 5 at the back to 4?
Who's the number 9 though? It's
Looks
going
like
to
they
be
might have gone.
St Max chasing shadows.
Well, it's interesting because Joe
Possibly.
Linton's probably not had that much impact on the game, with Sam Maximan and Almiron driving from midfield. So it probably doesn't change too much.
Good news. I can't see any Man City players warming up. Good news for those that don't want Mahrez to come on. Usually at this point, you'd be seeing players on the touchline warming up. I've had full view of the touchline. Zero interest from Pep and City.
You said earlier, though, I think, like, how many people have actually got bench players who are going to come in for them? I mean, vice captains, someone's probably captained Mahrez. I might have done if I'd had him. So fair enough there. But at this point, I might take my 1 or 2 points from them coming off the bench, because a lot of people spent transfers to get players like that, so they wouldn't have a blank.
I've not had a vice captain all season. My captain's always played, and so many have had good.
Really?
Oh, it's like fallen to Salah and yeah.
It surprises me.
Yeah.
I've had a few. I'm trying to think.
Have you?
I mean, it must have been KDB a few times.
Yeah, I've captained KDB a few times, but he played in them, including my triple cap. But yeah, I went Kane, by the way, this week, guys. I didn't go Salah. I know. There's that's going to be amongst the kind of the community. That seems like a big differential. Kane's had a week off. Salah hasn't. When does Kane ever get a week off? Like, yeah, sure, he's been training, but no game. That's quite nice. He's also blanked in the last 2. Like, when does he ever blank in 3 in a row? It was unlucky against Leeds, not to the toe offside. I don't have Son, so I was just like, I've only got 1 Spurs attack, go all out. And I just feel like, I don't think Salah plays 90, especially if it's comfortable. Klopp brings him off early.
Yeah, with all this Mane drama about that.
I don't know who's going to start.
And all that.
Like, you'd think Mane comes in and starts. Late riser captained him, for example. I'm not convinced Mane does start. It's either Mane or Jota misses out. I don't think he'll play all 4 because he hasn't been, despite the fixture. Firmino scored 2 goals. You don't drop him, and he's just had a rest not long ago. You can't drop Salah, so it's Jota or Mane on the bench.
I think Jota gets benched.
But could Salah be... So, although I think there's a 2% chance of it happening, there's a 2% chance Salah's benched. There's a 0% chance Kane is benched. So again, that was in my thinking. He'll play 90, Salah won't. Yeah.
I guess Golden Boot, do you bench Salah for that?
They're both 21.
Does Jurgen Klopp care?
Both on 21 goals as well. Yeah, those 2 both going to Golden Boot.
Yeah. If I didn't have Salah, I probably would have gone. I had it on Kane until I did De Bruyne to Salah.
Of course, you brought Salah in. Yeah.
But you've got to think that the West Brom fixture is just more appetising than Wolves in general, don't you think?
Yeah, it's West Brom away versus Wolves. Spurs are the home team. But yeah, it was more the Thursday night game. I like the week off. That was my biggest factor.
To completely contradict what I said earlier about home and away, hasn't Salah, or at least Liverpool, scored more goals away than home or something like that this year?
Possibly.
I vaguely recall that their home form, maybe it's defence, I'm not sure.
No, you might be
also,
right.
I said earlier not to pay attention to that too much for players, so I don't want to contradict myself too much.
Chris James, Kane's a great shout. Depends if you're defending a position or looking to attack rank. That's a very good point, mate. Yeah. And I probably wouldn't have gone... No, I think I actually would have, but my mindset would be go for the not so highly owned captain if you're chasing rank, and I'm absolutely chasing rank.
Provided you think it's sufficiently close, of course. I think too often we can fall into that trap of like, yes, must get a differential, but if your differential is likely to score 5 points, whereas the favourite is going to score 20, just stick to the favourite and find your points elsewhere.
Yeah. Speak of the devil, Dwight Gale is coming on. Of course he is. Why is he coming on the 87th minute, Bruce?
If Dwight Gale scores, I'm not sure I can do the Scoutcast next week. Joe has been, his like unfashionable players he's been after. So Chris Wood, which has done him brilliantly.
Right.
He's been shouting Dwight Gale as well because he appears on those same tables with, decent shots, poor conversion, which can indicate one of 2 things. Either he's a bad striker or he's unlucky. And, if he's unlucky, you want those goals.
He does always have 1 or 2 games, usually at the end of the season when they're not playing for much, where he gets a start and he scores 2 or he scores a brace. And we haven't had that this season yet, so maybe.
It's interesting, isn't it? Because he was quite prolific for, I can't remember, was it West Brom? Palace?
I think he's been at West Brom and Palace, yeah. He was all right at Palace.
He was brilliant in the Championship.
Yeah, he was great in the Championship.
But I would have loved to take him at Leeds for a solid 4 or 5 years while he was great in the Championship.
Newcastle gave him like a 45 grand a week contract from Palace. Like, he was absolutely laughing. So he's happy sitting there. He's getting paid really good money for someone that doesn't play.
that's the argument, isn't it? In the Championship, you're still playing a football game. If you still get chances, you're going to be able to finish it just as you are in the Premier League. So surely he's a decent finisher, and those tables.
Interesting one for you on that. And it's kind of like, it is super speculative, and it's not my work. It's someone who does a Leeds podcast and writes about Leeds. But they were looking, and they predicted this on September of last year, so before this season. They were looking at Bamford, who, many of us Leeds fans were talking about his XG. Yeah, he scored goals in the Championship, 16 to Ollie Watkins got 26, Mitrovic got 26. And he had more chances, I think. So we were thinking, Bamford does a lot for the team, but just not that great a goal scorer. As we know from this year, he's pretty much matched his XG, give or take, scored 15 goals, but obviously hard opposition, more matches, and looks like a decent finisher. In September last year, this article predicted, it was, it's not a massive correlation, but talked about the types of goals he scores and the types of chances he got, and was saying how much stronger on his left than on his right, much better with the ball ahead of him, as opposed to say coming behind or coming from across. And taking these scenarios and looking at where those might occur on a pitch, and typically the scenarios where Leeds are dominating and trying to put a ball into a packed area, Bamford was a lot worse with those chances. Whereas, say, where he gets a bit more space, the ball ahead of him, so maybe coming onto attack space with the ball, he typically finished those chances better. So it was all quite speculative. The conclusion was good, but maybe not fully solid. But I would say, looking at how the season's played out, there was certainly something there. So while I agree with, finishing is finishing, if you can draw a line between the types of chances you get, there probably are some things that suit others, some strikers more than others.
100%. And I think there's some correlation there between the numbers. If you put it into big chances and small chances, as I tend to do, he's definitely converted way more small chances than most people. He's really been good at that, but he's carried on that trend of missing the big chances, which he did in the Championship. So it's really interesting. He's quite a unique striker because not many people do that.
Yeah, there was between Leeds fans, one of those just purely off anecdotal observations. But we would always say, when he has time to think about his finish, he misses. When he just has to finish instinctively, he does better, which I guess would line up with your big and small chances, probably.
Yeah, probably. But it's interesting to think about next season. If he continues to get the same sort of chances, those small chances are likely to fall away for the goal conversion. So maybe he has a worse season. Maybe the need for him to start converting those big chances. So it could flip. He could have a worse season, or he could have the same season. I'm not sure he improves.
That's reasonable. Yeah.
Also, do Leeds buy a striker?
I feel like I'm going to say the same thing as last summer. We need to buy a striker, and Bamford will play every match. It's not just we're talking about goal scoring here. Bamford does so much for the rest of the team. But last year in the Championship, when he wasn't scoring the goals, in the Championship last year, he also just had no problems.
Yeah,
he was delighted with what he was doing with the team, and he was scoring some goals. So yeah, I don't think we do need one.
If Bamford gets
injured
though, Seb, you don't have Rodrigo could play 9, but he's not great as a 9. Yeah. You could, you don't have. You've been lucky this year with Bamford's fitness.
Yeah, quite possibly. The interesting one with Rodrigo is when we signed him, his numbers for pressing, closing down, all that work we want from Bamford were pretty good.
Yeah.
Now with Leeds, I would say that's probably his weakness. It's the real reason he shouldn't play in
Premier League adjustment.
Much. Maybe, but playing in Spain, I guess we'd typically say it's slower. I'd imagine the data backs that up. I'm not sure, but I wouldn't say, Premier League is probably closer to La Liga than say Championship or something. So I'm surprised he's translated as poorly.
Guys, we've got a couple of minutes left. In the chat, we've had Brian saying, Toby looks like a good guy. Just giving him a follow on Twitter. I've commented saying, follow Ted again. Here's his handle. I've also said, guys, if you fancy a Twitter account to follow, do check out FF_Fest, right? And I'll tell you a little bit about Fantasy Football Fest. It's this new thing. It's actually something I've set up alongside Mark Southerns, who you know as the creator of Fantasy Football Scout. We're coming together to organise a wicked, fun festival for fantasy football folk. And on the 13th of August in London, you can come along. Ted will be there, Seb will be there, Toby will also be there, and I'll be there. And we hope you can come along as well. So do please check it out. And you can buy tickets at 20 quid, early bird for 10% discount. We've also been asked, is it going to be in a pub, says Chris James. Unfortunately not, and we'd love to do it in a pub, but pubs just aren't going to work for us because we don't want to exclude anyone, and with pubs, you can probably only get 50, 100 people in. So it's going to be a ticketed event, but we hope to have hundreds. And we hope to have what is a very vibrant and growing community all together in one room. Not just content creators, but everyone from all over the FPL world. Not just those that are in Twitter cliques, but a wide range of people. So please do come along if you can. We've got people buying tickets internationally. Unfortunately, because of COVID, not many can. But we look to maybe do it further afield in the future. As Gundogan shoots and it sails over, 2 minutes left at St James's. So yeah, there's my little,
the venue you've got. The venue you've got for Fest looks fantastic. So,
thanks, mate. Yeah, it does, doesn't it? 26 Leek Street, the Arches at Waterloo. Good to know the 4G coverage is strong in there as well, because it's on probably on the deadline for FPL for the next season. That's why we've picked that date. If there's a Friday night game, we'll watch the game as well. We're getting Sky Sports hooked up in the next couple of weeks to the venue so we can watch the game. But yeah, the deadline will be a 6:30 deadline. Mark's going to do a live team reveal at 5:30. So I reckon loads of people are going to watch that and go, I'm now changing my team. We need good 4G or we need good Wi-Fi. And we are getting good Wi-Fi as well. And we'll be giving out the password when we're there.
I will do my team before that and not touch it unless some news comes out. Because the way to mess up game week 1 sounds like to go to an event, have drinks, do it on your phone with hundreds of people telling you different things.
Not for me.
Honestly.
And then the panic of that last hour. Don't change your team in the last moment.
Making transfers on the phone, nah. It's unlucky for me to even think about using that app. I'm not the biggest fan of the app for those transfers.
I genuinely don't think it matters what team we have for game week 1.
What, because we're wildcarding in week 3?
Exactly. I'm not sure I've had a successful game week 1 team ever.
How much do you think it matters for the rest of your season?
Well, look at your wildcard. Look at your team now from game week 1. You probably don't have a single player.
I have Trent, but then I've taken him out and brought him back in.
Okay.
I didn't have start with KDB, did I? Who else do I have? Salah. I started with. I think that might be it. Yeah.
Final whistle's gone, by the way. City win again, 4-3.
That's a great game.
Give a bonus.
That was really enjoyable. We said, a boring 2-0 or 1-1. There's nothing going on there.
I had Mitrovic game week 1.
I don't even hate that for game week 1. We thought he'd be the starting striker.
Yeah.
Good price.
Yeah.
Decent fixtures after. I think they started with Arsenal with decent fixtures, I think.
Yeah, they scored quite a lot. They were a team that, from the Championship, scored a few, but conceded a few as well, right? So going Fulham attack made sense if you wanted budget.
Yeah.
It's a shame, actually, Mitrovic didn't play more for Fulham because he's a decent guy, but he weirdly went out a lot with other players and then caught COVID like multiple times. He was just a bit of a rebel, wasn't he? Strange. And Loftus-Cheek ended up playing number 9 at some point for Fulham, which just shows how wrong it went.
Yeah.
In a parallel universe, Loftus-Cheek at number 9 sounds like FPL gold.
Sarri played in one game at false 9. He loved him, Sarri did.
He was a really good player. I mean, I remember...
Injuries, isn't it?
Yeah. Was it Palace?
Yeah.
For a bit? We went alone at Palace, and he was amazing.
Got called up to the England squad and went to Russia, and then became a starter in Moscow, all off his form at Palace, playing on the left of a 4-4-2.
There's great pictures on Sky Sports of Edison just running up to Scott Carson and just headlocking him and congratulating him because I'm not sure he did that much. He saved a penalty that was converted, but
I mean, yeah, we joke obviously, and he's probably
never playing a Premier League game again, is he?
I mean, yeah, he had probably 4 opportunities to not concede, and he conceded in 3 of them. But that's good fun, fair play, and he saved the penalty, like you say. Okay, it got knocked in afterwards. I'm not sure even the rebound was, his fault, right? He made a solid enough save.
Yeah. You save a penalty in your final Premier League game and win the Premier League the same season. Fair play. Shamey's always been a number 2, though, pretty much. Lowe's saying thank you in the chat. Monkey saying thank you. Gee whiz, thanks for having us. Catch you soon. Callum, quality stream, lads. Respect. Thanks all. Superb game and score. Good stream, folks. Loads of love. Thank you, guys. Do like this video. Do follow Ted. Do follow Seb. And we'll be back. We're not going to do a Game Week 37 stream. It's midweek. And we're all quite busy. So we will be doing a 38 stream, though. That's like 4 p.m. kickoff. So we'll all be there for that. And that promises to be a very fun game with, we got all 10 games at once. It's going to be chaos. If you like organised chaos, This is a stream for you, and I'm already very excited about that next Sunday. But thank you for
Will we
watching,
find out?
guys.
Will we find out if Johnny's got 10 friends or not?
Yeah, good point. Guys, thank you for watching, and we'll see you all very soon. But thank you, Ted. Thank you, Seb. See you later, guys.
Pleasure. Bye.
Good job.